Is going ahead.
Walk off the job this Thursday, which happens to fall in the first week of Year 12 exams. They've rejected the state government's latest pay offer, saying it fails to make any real improvement on the last. The teachers' union stating the latest deal, featuring a 4% wage increase in its first year, would leave some educators worse off. The AEU says if they don't get this right, not only will they continue to lose the current workforce, but fail to attract the next generation. The full day of strike action will include a rally at Parliament House from 11:30 Thursday morning.
The Prime Minister and Chinese President have met in Beijing discussing trade and economic relationships. Removing the last of the punitive tariffs on Australian products, as well as international conflicts and security in the Indo-Pacific, were top of the agenda. Mr Albanese says it was a productive meeting.
The deals that are being done in wine as we speak at the moment. I noted very much that unimpeded trade was in the interests of both countries, was good for Chinese consumers as well as Australian exporters.
The driver involved in the horror weekend crash at Daylesford is expected to be interviewed by police today. The victims have been identified as coming from Melbourne's west. A 30-year-old man and his partner, a 44-year-old woman, were killed, along with the woman's 9-year-old daughter. And a 38-year-old man and his 11-year-old son also died. A vigil was held in Daylesford last night for the victims. Mayor Brian Hood says many locals are still coming to terms with the tragedy.
Quite frankly, it's put them into a state of shock. The size and scale of this event is just enormous. It's unprecedented in these parts of Victoria, and I think people are fairly numb. They're incredibly upset, and they really feel for these victims.
Economists are predicting the Reserve Bank will lift interest rates by 0.25% when the board meets today. The official cash rate could be lifted to 4.35% to curb inflation. Rate City's Sally Tyndall says the RBA's hands could be tied.
We've got to go into the RBA's mindset, and they said if there's a material revision to the timeline to bring down inflation, then yes, they will pull the trigger on a rate hike. Is this a material blip in the road? We don't know yet. We will know at 2:30.
The federal government's expanding the scope of the COVID inquiry. New detail on the inquiry's website shows it will consider evidence to justify lockdowns and other pandemic interventions. The explicit instructions were not included in the original terms of reference. And the nation's peak psychology body's issuing a warning about the dangers of gambling this Melbourne Cup Day. The Australian Psychological Society is pushing for better reforms and protection of young people from gambling harm. Dr Zena Burgess says those aged between 18 and 24 are at high risk of addiction.
We are speaking to the government this week about gambling issues and looking at the recommendations that they're putting out about gambling. So we will be talking at length to them about the risks for young people and teenagers.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Huge controversy at the Cricket World Cup overnight, with Sri Lanka's Angelo Matthews becoming the first player in international cricket to be dismissed after being timed out. It came after he came to the crease and his helmet strap broke. He asked for a replacement, but in the meantime, Bangladesh captain Shakib Al Hassan, who was bowling at the time, appealed and Matthews was given out. Matthews protested his case and the umpires twice asked Al Hassan if he would like to withdraw his appeal, but he said no. Bangladesh ended up winning the game by 3 wickets, Al Hassan making 82 himself, although he was dismissed by Matthews. Australia will take on Afghanistan tonight. Meantime, South Australia is in a good position after day one of its Shield clash against Queensland at the Gabba, with bad light stopping play early. The Redbacks reached 2 for 190 with Henry Hunt unbeaten on 104. And the Sydney Thunder are sitting top of the table in the Women's Big Bash League after an 8-run win over the Brisbane Heat. The Thunder posted 4 for 204 at North Sydney Oval, the club's highest ever total.
But it's the Sydney Thunder who go to the top of the WBBL ladder, and they beat the Brisbane Heat for the first time in almost 2 years.
And the Melbourne Cup will be run today with no decision still made on Alan Kerr, with Damien Oliver anxiously waiting to hear if he'll get one last ride in the Great Race. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
Sunny and 27 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 26. Sunny on Thursday, 30 and up to 34 on Friday. At the moment, 11. More news as it happens on 5AA.
City Discount Tires. For the best advice and price on tyres and mechanical, see City Discount Tires. With local deals on the world's biggest and best brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts for four-wheel drive, SUVs and passenger cars. Finance available. Find your nearest dealer at citydiscounttires.com.au. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires. New Zealand, spectacular, safe and friendly. The perfect destination for a magical getaway. Right now, Holiday Wonders Mitcham have an exclusive 17-day fully inclusive package. It's our best deal ever. Save up to $980 per couple. Fly direct from Adelaide with Air New Zealand, touring North and South Islands with meals, accommodation and so much included, with more highlights than any comparable New Zealand holiday. Call now or visit holidaywonders.com.au. Holiday Wonders, Belair Road, Mitcham.
Now, have you heard Midkey is Australia's first no monthly payments home loan, the key to unlock your midlife?
With Midkey, you only need to repay when you sell your property. When your home value is increased, you can access this value with a Midkey, even when your current lender can't.
Now, is there a catch? Not according to Midkey unlockers like ad executive Chris from Sydney.
Well, here's what Chris said. He said, we got access to cash, which didn't impact our monthly outgoings. It's so straightforward. It's just a wonderful way of leveraging the biggest asset that you own.
So to find out more and become a Midkey unlocker like Chris and many others around Australia, just visit midkey.com.au today. That's midkey.com.au. Terms and conditions apply.
Medicines just got cheaper for a range of ongoing health conditions. Now, selected PBS medicines can be prescribed for 60 days, saving you money and time by giving you twice the medication for the cost of a single prescription. Here you go.
Thanks, Doc.
Ask your doctor if a 60-day prescription is right for you, or visit health.gov.au/cheaper medicines. Part of making Medicare stronger.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
6:08, good morning to you. Welcome to Tuesday on 5AA Breakfast, better known as Melbourne Cup Day in this country. It might well be known as Rates Day if you're a mortgage holder. I don't think there's good news on the way on that front, but it is also the official 5AA Breakfast marker of Australian indolence. Starts today, as determined by David about 9 years ago on the program. The ebb and flow of Australian productivity is in the ebb stage right now, as of this morning, as of today. We'll get you across all the big stories going on right around the world. Anthony Albanese in China, we'll talk about that. The teachers' strike is going ahead. I say that with a degree of surprise, having spoken to a number of people last night who all believed that this was a bluff, could not believe they went through with it. We'll talk more about that in depth after 7 o'clock today. The Premier will join us on the program to discuss that further. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. I have the COVID-safe copper bowl, harking back to a stupider era where we all thought that COVID could not survive for lengthy periods of time on copper.
Did we?
So, well, we didn't. The HR department did. That's why we have a copper salad bowl in here.
Yeah, that's right.
Every studio should have one. But it's now, finally, years on from the pandemic.
Repurposed.
It's been repurposed for good, as opposed for stupidity.
The world is healing.
The world is healing, and we are running a sweep today, which is going to be good because you're all going to cop a interest rate hike. And I think, too, just from a newspaper perspective, any headline writer who serves up the rates that stop the nation as a headline tomorrow should be shown the door.
Yeah, I agree.
Tiredest, most overused headline in newspaper history. First person who thought of it.
Good first time.
Enough.
Yeah.
But it's done a few laps, that one. More laps than those poor old horses will do today at Flemington. Does it actually do laps?
What is it, 1.5?
Do you go all the way around? I don't know.
I don't know. We're not really.
I don't really watch it.
We're not really horse racing aficionados.
No, that's right.
As will be borne out over the course of the morning.
But we like winning and we like people having fun. And to your point, Will, I was looking at my calendar the other day, and the Australian indolence calendar starting on Melbourne Cup Day, where you start thinking, you sort of want to catch up with people you haven't seen during the year, and we'll get a lunch in, we'll get a drink in before Christmas. I've got 3 lunches on the board coming up that are going to be quite torrid. So watch out. Yeah, watch out. And they're all scheduled for Thursdays.
Okay.
As well.
Torrid. They make it seem more like a chore than I'm sure they will be.
Oh no, they're not a chore at all. But if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly sometimes.
We got lots of text. Dutton's texts already coming through on the program. 0480 1395. People up and about very early on this Tuesday morning.
One here from a teacher saying, "Good morning, gentlemen. As a decade-long teacher who loves his job, that offer yesterday from the government was insulting. Pay-wise, it was effectively less than the initial offer. That's not how you negotiate with a teaching profession that has numbers leaving in droves." I'd like to hear an explanation as to why teachers think they deserve a bigger pay rise than nurses. Why do they deserve, on the basis of what the union's asking for, why do they deserve a 3 times bigger pay rise than nurses? There's a question. One here, Simon from Seaford. Parents should look out for communications today. Most schools have far more teachers staying at work and all exams will continue. Participation numbers look to be a vote against the AEU. And another one here from Scott. Guys, just on a note someone made yesterday where you were mulling over, it was us, where you were mulling over why Albo wasn't copping the same heat for being overseas as Morrison. Were we? I don't know if we were. Anyway.
I don't recall exactly.
We'll run with it.
Like that.
Morrison lied about his whereabouts and was caught lounging beachside in a Hawaiian resort. Albo's US and China trip seems reasonable given the subs will put us in debt for the next 500 years and SA could do well being able to sell its barley and wine to China again. Fair enough. One here. I'm friends with a teacher on Facebook and she's hardcore. Let's strike and disrupt. I want to quiz her about it, but I can't be bothered with the responses. People are feisty at 12 past 6.
Very feisty this morning. Excellent. Bodes well for the next 3 hours.
Talk nonsense about the sweep.
With a huge range of vehicles available on the hills and Murray Bridge, Duttons can deliver right now. Keep those texts coming in, 0480 1395. Or you can just call us. We love chatting with you. 8223 0000. News headlines are coming up in just a moment.
The Earl of Leicester is not your ordinary pub. It's got all your favourite Aussie pub classics on the menu, but they do like a British twist. The Earl's Chicken Schnitzel is bigger than Big Ben. It's a not-so-ordinary 600-gram plate-hanging schnitty. A schnitty that size isn't for the faint of heart. And once you start, you'll need to keep calm and carry on. The Earl of Leicester, Parkside. It's a little bit British.
Experience Europe's enchanting waterways with APT and Phil Hoffman Travel. Discover iconic cities, fairy tale towns and hidden gems on a luxury river cruise along the Danube, Main and Rhine rivers from Budapest to Amsterdam with flights included and a free cabin upgrade from $7,425 per person. Unpack once and let the best of Europe come to you in a whole new way in award-winning luxury with APT. Phil Hoffman Travel, pht.com.au.
Are you a snorer, or have you got someone who you have to whack to, with a pillow to try and shut them up in the middle of the night? Well, sleep apnea is no fun for anyone involved. Luckily, though, you can help trial a possible treatment. CMAX is investigating a potential THC-based oral capsule.
Now, if you're aged 18 to 65 and generally healthy, this could be your big chance to help CMAX develop treatment that can change the world. You'll also be reimbursed for your time upon your successful participation.
Check your eligibility today. Log on to cmax.com.au or call the CMAX team on 1800 150 433. That's 1800 150 433.
Gentlemen, wish you could sleep at night without getting up constantly to pee? Caruso's Prostate Ease Max relieves the frequency of nighttime urination in men with medically diagnosed benign prostatic hypertrophy or enlarged prostate. So if you'd like to pee less and sleep more, try Caruso's Prostate Ease Max. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If you've not had your symptoms diagnosed or if your symptoms persist or worsen, consult a medical practitioner.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
16 after 6 news headlines on this Tuesday morning. The driver involved in the horror weekend crash at Daylesford is expected to be interviewed by police today. The victims have been identified as coming from Melbourne's west. A 30-year-old man and his partner, a 44-year-old woman, were killed, along with the woman's 9-year-old daughter, and a 38-year-old man and his 11-year-old son also died.
Just shocking. So we haven't really got any details yet about the crash, have we? We're still waiting.
We don't know, not the cause. We know exactly how it played out now. It was actually someone coming off a side street where you come to the big roundabout that I was talking about at the start of town. It's not, so it wasn't someone coming into the town off the main highway. It was this little side street that runs alongside the pub, where the Daylesford pub has its beer garden, effectively like al fresco dining.
Yeah, right.
It's sort of it's on the curb and spills out a little bit into this little green space. And you would generally be going very slowly past that to get to the big roundabout to either go out of town or along the main street. But what someone's done is driven at speed right over the top of that little green strip of lawn that they use as a sort of al fresco beer garden style area. And unfortunately, it's where kids play. People have their dogs and things like that. What no one can work out is why you're going fast enough,
why you couldn't stop,
why there was no braking. One of the eyewitnesses that was on 7 last night said when she got there, and it sounds like a horrific scene, the guy was still in the car and just had this sort of, she said it looked like he'd had a medical episode. That was just an eyewitness. Yeah, that's right. So that would seem to be, at this point, the best explanation, because otherwise it's just impossible to work out what the hell's happened. The Prime Minister's declaring a landmark visit to Beijing as a success, saying relations have taken a step forward. Anthony Albanese is the first Australian leader to visit the country in 7 years, sitting down with President Xi Jinping. Trade, conflict and security in the Indo-Pacific dominated discussions between the pair. We'll play a little bit of what they had to say after 7 o'clock this morning.
Hopefully the relationship will get back on track sooner rather than later, because South Australia is born far and away in an industry sense. We have been the absolute epicentre of the economic impact of China's belligerence over the last few years, and hopefully sanity will prevail soon.
An alarming number of Australians have no savings to their name. New research by Compare the Market shows almost a third of people are living week by week. Third of people. No savings.
I'm surprised it's not even higher than that at the moment.
I wonder what quantifies a savings. Does, having extra in the mortgage count as a saving for the purposes of...
equity in your home?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does depend, doesn't it?
Because
I suppose if you want, you might have paid off $400,000 off your house.
And you can redraw on, if you get...
But is that a saving?
I don't know.
You don't want to do that.
I'm not sure whether that, for the purpose of this statistic, is a saving or not, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, you're right. I thought it would potentially be significantly higher than that.
We had a mate staying here over the weekend who lives in the US, and he was talking about how, back in the day, he used to love coming back to Australia. It was like 25 years ago, because there were so many things here that were cheaper. He says nothing at all is cheaper. Nothing. Apart from... well, he was talking about housing. Like the cost of housing in the US... He's got looks like a 2,000 square metre home that's got a creek and a forest with squirrels and deer down at the bottom of his backyard in a small town in North Carolina, and he said it costs like $800,000. It's just ridiculous. It's got 6 rooms and every bedroom has an ensuite. It's got 6 bathrooms.
$800,000.
Yeah,
which would get you.
That'd get
two-bedroom home in most suburbs of Adelaide, probably.
Yeah,
inner city suburbs of Adelaide.
2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms.
Yeah, one
with
bathroom.
a backyard, maybe. Yeah,
like a courtyard masonette type house in the inner suburbs. Maybe not even anymore.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's crazy.
Public drunkenness has been decriminalised in Victoria. It is no longer an offence to be drunk in the street. If someone is drunk and doesn't want help, the police just have to leave them. So, good luck to you. Police are searching for 2 men who fled...
What a day to bring it in.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Police are searching for 2 men who fled the scene of a high-speed crash which killed 2 young teenagers in Sydney southwest. This is disgusting, this story.
Oh, it's the footage as well.
The footage of these 2 absolute lowlifes. CCTV footage shows the driver and front seat passenger clamber out of from the wreckage. 2 boys aged 13 and 14 were left for dead. Now, what's more is they get out of their car, they go over and inspect the bodies of these young kids, interfere with them, move them, and then just decide, well, there's nothing to be done here. I don't know if there was at the time or not. Then they leave the scene.
Yeah, they should, if they catch them. Like
when Sean Fuster talks about what maximum sentences are reserved for, the worst of the worst, this has to be the worst of the worst. It's not just leaving the scene of the crime.
Well, yeah. I keep thinking back to the Lamborghini guy. You do something like that and you don't get any time. Who knows?
It's hard to have faith. There's a chance interest rates could rise when the Reserve Bank meets today. Many economists believe the RBA will lift rates by 0.25%, making it the 13th rate hike since May last year. The International Monetary Fund is urging the Reserve Bank to raise the official cash rate too, arguing Australia must do more to curb inflation. Feels like everywhere else around the world right now has hit the peak of inflation's coming down, where we still doesn't feel like we've quite reached it yet. There's the concern though is the knife edge scenario, whereby another rate hike might be just the thing to curb inflation. It might also be just the thing to kick the country into recession. And is it one more? Is it two more? Because you certainly don't want to overdo it. And there's signs the economy's straining. You look at retail sales, you look at consumer confidence, you look at a whole bunch of measures, and there's reason to be concerned about the economy beyond the headline inflation figure. Let's look at the weather, because I tell you what, there's going to be some cracking days coming up, including today. 27 today.
Nice.
Just 10.3 degrees outside in the city at the moment. 26 tomorrow, 30 on Thursday, 34 on Friday before a change Saturday. Drops it back a little bit. Still pleasant enough though. 24 Saturday, 23 Sunday, and 23 on Monday. Now, Tom Wren is very excited. He's very excited. I heard him earlier. I know there's a particular incident in the world of cricket that is an interesting debate. Glider Oil Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. glideroil.com.au. Rennie, you made it in the studio in a timely fashion. We didn't have to time you out.
I nearly got timed out, didn't I?
You nearly got timed out, but no, you made it in.
Well, and the reason you say
David didn't appeal.
He didn't appeal. The reason you say that is because last night we saw something make history. For the first time in international cricket history, Angelo Matthews was given timed out. Before we go any further, perhaps now that you get 2 minutes before you have to face up to, face your first delivery. If you don't, the opposition can appeal and you can be given out. That is what has happened last night.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
No, it's a thing. So let's have a listen to the rule and let's have a listen to the commentators trying to make sense of it at the time and as to why it happened.
I think Angelo Matthews is trying to explain to Saqib that there's something wrong with the strap which really holds the helmet on your head, and I think Bangladesh just appealed and the umpire says, yes, you time out, you got to go back, and it's all happening out there.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Angelo Matthews given out without facing a ball. Timed out.
Now, that audio, thanks to Fox, as you can imagine, Angelo Matthews was furious, absolutely furious. So he's about to take guard, he's about to face up and do what you do. And then you can see the strap on his helmet literally breaks. And so he calls to the dressing room and says, I need a new helmet. Now, if this had happened after he'd faced one ball or 200 balls, no problem. 5-minute break.
I was thinking that too. Like, occasionally you see batsmen break their bat. Or they need new gloves.
Now, bear in mind...
So once their innings have started, it's not an issue.
It's not an issue. But bear in mind, this rule doesn't have a caveat that says equipment based. So it's at the discretion of the opposing captain, Shakib Al Hassan, who's got, you'll see Twitter, he's got some very interesting videos of him kicking over stumps and doing some colourful things, but I digress. He was asked twice by the umpires, would you like to withdraw the appeal? No. Would you like to withdraw the appeal? No. So, Angelo Matthews, now think of Philip Hughes and think of, now that's perhaps pushing it extreme, but if your helmet's not working...
Yeah, it's kind of pretty crucial.
Fairly crucial, but... Now,
it's bad sportsmanship.
Is it a bit rich of Australian?
It's different from like your Johnny Bairstow wandering around without a care in the world, thinking that the crease is an abstract concept, and then crying foul when you get legitimately run out.
So
it's different from that, because that is the most obvious thing that everybody knows. I don't think anybody knows that this is even a thing, and to appeal against it, he looks like a rank opportunist, doesn't he?
I can't believe this is still a rule. Look, this feels like the kind of thing that was put into the early rules of cricket because time was an issue when you needed to catch the boat back to Australia.
So
why do we have 2 minutes?
There's 6 players in first-class history over 150 years that have been given timed out. I'll just give you a couple of explanations as to how they were dismissed. Andrew Jordan, Eastern Province versus Transvaal, couldn't reach the ground because of flooded roads. He was timed out.
Imagine appealing then. That's rough. Where is he? Caught in the floods? How is he?
Yeah, he's trying to get the
out.
boat across.
Tell your story walking.
He's just coming around the Horn of Africa right now.
Another one was chatting to the coach on the boundary edge. Another one.
Well, that one's fair enough.
Flight to the game was delayed.
Oh, that's rough.
One had a groin strain and took too long to walk out, so then
he's in pain. He's limping.
Then he had to walk back. Another one just failed. Just failed to reach the crease on time, and then another one, no information known. So there's some bizarre reasons, but
so AJ, he reached the crease.
He
took guard in time.
He was there.
Yeah, he was standing there.
He was ready to go. But then you will see the strap broke, and then he appeals, and they run out another helmet, and the Bangladesh players get together, and they're laughing and carrying on. And then Matthews pleads his case, and Shakib Al Hassan, who's the captain and was bowling at the time, basically said, "I've appealed. It's in the umpire's hands. It's the laws of the game."
That's rubbish.
So now
that's really poor.
In a twist of fate, Matthews did actually end up dismissing Shakib Al Hassan himself, but he made 82. Bangladesh won the game. Yeah, it's this whole spirit of cricket thing gets brought up again.
Well, you've got to wonder whether this generation of cricket is it a real concept? Because the reality is, you might say it is for the majority, but the spirit of cricket only works on the basis that everyone believes the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a couple that say, "Well, I'm going to appeal for this," and you were 2 minutes and 1 second at the crease, or whatever you might well be, I'm going to man-cat you. You see underage cricket all the time. Man-cats happen all the time now at the international level. Once upon a time, you wouldn't have done that, but everyone kind of agreed you didn't do that.
Yes.
The moment one team does it or one group of people, it's dead, whether the majority wants it or not.
I think man-catting can be legitimate, though, if the batsman's backing up so far that they're just taking the mickey.
Sure.
As a warning, though, not as a dismissal. But I think bowlers are within their rights to say, "Hey, mate, I'm watching you."
Yeah, I saw Mitch Stark warn a batter a couple of times, and the commentator said he should stop warning him and just do it. But it depends.
Well, he's doing the spirit of cricket thing.
He's doing this. Yeah, he's being like, "Come on, mate, I don't want to do this, but stop, getting out of your ground."
Yeah, but I mean, a guy like that who clearly believes that won't continue to do it if he's playing against a team that suddenly says, "Well, we don't do warnings," and that's how it dies, even if it's only a minority of people who don't believe it anymore.
And interestingly, the reserve umpire in the innings break said the 2 minutes had already elapsed, and I went, "You're kidding." If they were then to enforce that every time, there'd be 5 batters every game that get dismissed. And could you imagine if this happened to Virat Kohli in a World Cup final? There'd be a riot. Anyway, that's all happening at the moment, so that's big. But the Melbourne Cup's on today.
Yes.
So, look, I don't think we've got a great record with me giving out tips, but I'll give some regardless. The one I like is actually a bit of an outsider. I think we could see our first international woman win the Melbourne Cup. Holly O'Doyle is riding Future History, number 21. It's paying about $20. Gamble responsibly, so maybe a couple of dollars each way. So I like 21. If you're boxing a trifecta or a first 4, I'll give you 5 horses. Number 21, Future History. I'll give you number 3. I think that's probably the horse to beat without a fight. I like number 5, the favourite. You've got to throw it in there, Vauban. 6, Soulcomb. That's a bit of value for you. And then Ash Run is number 11. I think that will go all right as well. So 3, 5, 6, 11 and 21.
Future history.
Yeah, future history.
Hopefully your future history comes true.
Magnificent work,
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, boys.
Tom Wren, thanks to Glarderol Garage Doors, new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors. They're right here now, glarderol.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
It's been confirmed Thursday's teachers' strike is going ahead. Teachers in public schools will walk off the job during the first week of Year 12 exams. They've rejected the state government's latest pay offer, saying it fails to make any real improvement on the last one. The full day of strike action will include a rally starting at 11:30 on Thursday morning. There's a chance interest rates could rise when the Reserve Bank Board meets today. More from Michael Packy.
Many economists believe the RBA may lift rates by 0.25%, making it the 13th hike since May last year. The International Monetary Fund is urging the Reserve Bank to raise the official cash rate, arguing Australia must do more to curb inflation. The government says it'll do its bit, planning to slash infrastructure spending as worker and material shortages have led to massive cost blowouts on some projects. While some analysts believe a rate hike is necessary, others say it could push the economy into recession.
Police hope to interview the driver involved in Sunday night's horror crash in Daylesford today. Police initially hoped to speak to the 66-year-old man on Monday, but late in the day said he remained in hospital under care. A vigil was held in Daylesford last night for the 5 victims. Local Mayor Brian Hood says it was a confronting time for many in the community.
When you hear about a wonderful family like that, when you see a photo of them, it just humanises the whole thing. And when you see the accident side, it's very confronting for most of us. Yes, it certainly brings home just how fragile things are and how close we need to hold our near and dear ones.
And police are hunting 2 men captured on security footage fleeing the wreckage of a deadly car crash in Sydney's southwest. The car slammed into a tree and power pole at Ashcroft, splitting in half and killing 2 boys aged 13 and 14. The driver and front seat passenger ran off. The Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli military action in the past month. Israel launched its military campaign in Gaza in response to the Hamas attack, which killed more than 1,400 Israelis and abducted at least 240 hostages. Israeli diplomat Mark Regev says the death toll figures are nothing more than propaganda.
Of course, I know that innocent people are being caught up in the crossfire between the Israeli Defense Forces and the Hamas terrorists. I have no doubt that that's true. What I can say unequivocally is that Israel has made a major effort to avoid that sort of innocent people getting hurt.
And today's big horse race may be over the border, but local pubs and clubs are gearing up for one of their busiest days of the year, with many Melbourne Cup lunches expected to last well into the afternoon. More than 3,000 people will be trackside at Morfordville this Cup Day. The venue's Corey Wade says they have a full program on offer.
The day kicks off with gates opening from 10:30am. Obviously, people can get on the tram from either Glenelg or the city and make their way and get off on the front doorstep. We have 10 races live on track, as well as the main race coming live from Melbourne.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
And Tom ran a big night at the World Cup.
Yeah, and a controversial one as well too, Kendall, and that's because Sri Lankan all-rounder Angelo Matthews became the first player in international history to be dismissed timed out. Bangladesh going on to win the match by 3 wickets. Well, Australia's final 2 round-robin games may prove to be danger games on Indian pitches. The Aussies will take on Afghanistan tonight and Bangladesh on Saturday, needing one more victory to secure a semi-final spot. Star batter Steve Smith says the opposition spinners will be a handful.
The spinners have had pretty big impacts for most teams in those middle overs, and we knew that coming into the World Cup. Yeah, it's going to be no different in the next couple of games against some quality spinners.
And South Australia is in a good position after day 1 of its Shield clash against Queensland at the Gabba. The Redbacks reaching 2 for 190 when bad light stopped play. Henry Hunt unbeaten on 104. Well, the first Melbourne Cup was held way back in 1861. This year, Matt Hill will be calling his 7th Melbourne Cup, and he's told Wide World of Sports it's an event for the whole country.
You know, you go to the races day in, day out, and there's a fraternity, a large fraternity that like following horse racing, but this one, it bursts that bubble. It goes out to the broader sphere, and it's a lovely thing to be a part of.
Vauban is the favourite to win the race, which is being ridden by Ryan Moore. And in some soccer to finish, Tottenham's EPL match against Chelsea has just started. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
A sunny day heading for 27, partly cloudy tomorrow 26, sunny on Thursday 30 and 34 for Friday. At the moment 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
24 minutes to 7. Three times over the morning, we'll sound the bugle and we'll be putting people in the running to win $100 worth of unique home-style foods with our wonderful Melbourne Cup sweep. 7 or 8 horses at a time will be drawn out. Get calling right now on 8223 0055. You can be part of the sweep. We've got the COVID-free copper bowl in the studio. David's doing a bit of shuffling.
There we go.
Exactly right.
Getting them ready.
Get calling now, 8223 0055, and we'll get...
Can we enter?
No, I think we'll get 8 people in the running right here and now. It's a big happy birthday to Joni Mitchell.
It always seemed to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
Joni Mitchell turns 80 years of age today.
Joni Mitchell. I love Joni Mitchell. I reckon Blue is one of the all-time great records. After she wrote that album, Chris Christopherson said to her, Joni, you don't need to leave every single part of you exposed. Like, this is painful listening, this record, because it was about, unrequited love and relationships gone wrong. She's a very interesting performer, just this sort of waif-like quality with that little harpy thing that she strums. But that is a killer record, Blue. There are a lot of good records that she wrote.
As we speak, in fact, just before we got on air, I noted that the lunch break had ended and Donald Trump had resumed the stand in his civil trial in the United States. So for those playing at home, it can be difficult to keep up. This is the civil trial.
Is this the one in...
This is the New York.
New York one.
Brought by the New York Attorney General's office.
This is a real estate-related one,
This is the one where the allegation, put very simply, is that Donald Trump and his family members... business associates, his co-defendants, overinflated the value of the things they owned so they could get better loans. So it's a bit like you go to the bank to get a home loan. And what do you own? Well, I've got a car. What's it worth? I don't know, $1 million. You do. If you did that kind of thing, the bank might raise an eyebrow. But in the world of high finance, it seems to be a little bit easier, but against the law. So that's what the court case is. This is not criminal. He doesn't go to jail for this, but it could potentially lead to him being banned doing business in the state of New York, which is where his whole empire is, of course, based. As you can imagine, the presidential candidate and former US president has used this case as an opportunity to further his bid for the White House.
It's a very unfair situation. This is really election interference. That's all it is. This trial is ridiculous. The numbers are much greater than on the financial statement. And we've already proven that. It's very unfair. But in the meantime, the people of the country understand it, they see it, and they don't like it.
Here is the New York Attorney General, Letitia James.
This morning, Mr. Trump will take the stand in our trial against him, the Trump Organization, and other defendants. Mr. Trump has repeatedly and consistently misrepresented and inflated the value of his assets. And before he takes the stand, I am certain that he will engage in name-calling and taunts and race baiting and call this a witch hunt. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters are the facts and the numbers. And numbers, my friends, don't lie.
I think one of the problems the people that prosecute Donald Trump have is they all feel like they're auditioning to play the role of themselves in the movie about them that's going to come out one day.
I was just thinking too, like, this sort of grab bag of all of Trump's crimes against humanity. And I think the guy is a menace. You know, defying the reality of an election result, inciting a riot, that of itself, I think, is an indictable offence. And more than that, it's a moral stain on the bloke that he'll carry forevermore. But that woman there, she just sounded like the sort of PC grab bag box ticker. How do you... What's the race baiting part of what's going on with any of this?
I'm not sure.
How does this become a Black Lives Matter thing?
This is the civil trial. There'll be 4 criminal trials next year. So get used to Donald Trump giving testimony, being a witness, and then appear outside and using it as a campaign launching point. Again, as of yesterday, he's ahead of Joe Biden in the polls.
This judge is going to need a big drink come Friday. What a week. And it sounds like Trump's, just playing her off a break. It's crazy.
Yeah. We'll continue to follow that trial and indeed all the trials of Donald Trump, now inside a year until the US presidential election. Let's put some people in the running to win a horse. Daryl's first cab off the rank. Morning, Daryl.
David, well, how are you?
You don't win a horse, obviously. A horse can win for you. But anyway, we'll get the language right a little bit later. What have we got for Daryl?
Daryl, you have number 15. I'll try to pronounce it properly. Lastochka.
Lastochka.
No.
Ridden by
Thank you very much.
Craig Williams. Thank you, Daryl.
Do I write the names on them? Nope, Sam's doing that.
Sam's doing that. Okay, let's go Malcolm. What have we got for Malcolm?
Malcolm has... Oh, this has been in it before. 18. Serpentine. Gay Waterhouse trained that one. 18. Serpentine. Malcolm, good luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
Not at all.
All right, let's go to Newton. Anne.
Morning, boys.
Hello, Anne. You have number 23, Calipore.
Oh, that'll do me. Thank you nicely.
Blue and gold. Looks like it's been ridden by Ralph Sewer in the old Woodville West Torrens colours. Okay.
Paul in Richmond, good morning.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, guys, how you going?
Yeah, good, mate.
How you going?
You got number 11, Ashrun. Good on you, Paul.
Let's go to Doug. What have we got for Doug?
Doug has number
G'day,
6. How are you, Doug? Number 6, Solcombe, mate. Solcombe.
Oh, fantastic. I can't believe he's still available this late in the draft. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, boys.
Michael, you have number 24, True Marvel. Paying 151 to 1, so good luck with that.
Michael,
you get a prize if you come last, though.
No, you don't. You get a prize. No, you don't. It's the top 3. The top 3 positions.
Didn't we do that?
The top 3 positions.
We did that last year.
All get $100.
I'm being nodded at in a disapproving way by the crew in there. I'm not entirely sure why.
Terry, good morning.
No, Terry, you have number 19, Virtuous Circle.
Oh, sounds fair.
Yep. Virtuous. Sounds virtuous.
Excellent.
And one more.
Dave.
Number 8,
Morning,
Dave.
guys.
Right you are.
That sounds like me.
Good on you, Dave.
Right you are, Dave. Okay, so that's 8 in the running. We'll do 2 more lots over the course of the morning in the 7 to 8 hour and the 8 to 9 hour. And the nice thing is you don't even have to win. All if you place, the top 3 positions all get a $100 unique Homestyle Foods voucher. That'll go a long way and buy you some sensational food. They did great. Their pastries are superb.
Lovely.
Absolutely delicious. All right, let's check traffic thanks to Keezer. Are you tired of back pain? Try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will, and good morning. Maori and Urgent Electrical Works, Maori and Road near Alouina Avenue. Got left-hand lane closed and speeds down to 25. At Dry Creek, look out for works this morning. The Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield Interchange off-ramp, speeds at 60. And Clovelly Park, Watermine works continue on South Road at Dawes Road. We've got road plates in use there. Speeds reduced and pretty bumpy at the moment. Got a camera, Golfview Road at Christie's Beach. The sound of you enjoying a delicious barista-made coffee from OTR. Pop in and get your pick-me-up now at OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
At Coles, there's great value hands down across fruit and veg this week. Like sweet 100% Aussie raspberries, just $5 for a 125-gram punnet. Get great value hands down at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
We understand not all small businesses are the same. That's why Nissan Fleet offers tailored vehicle solutions for your unique business needs. With dedicated fleet managers available across Australia, we're your local fleet experts, providing quality advice, support and customer service for the entire life of your vehicle fleet. Visit your local Nissan dealer or search Nissan Fleet today and we'll find the right business solution for you.
Now, if you're fitting out a workshop, your shed or rooms around the home with extra storage, forget the flat pack. Do it properly. Go Sharman Shelving all the way.
Now, here's the thing we all love about Sharman Shelving. It is all done for you. It's not flat packed. It's not going to come off the back of the truck and you have to, pray to your deity that all the parts are inside.
And that the instructions have been accurately translated from the Mandarin.
Exactly right. You need 56 different Allen keys. No. It's all done for you.
That's right. Call Sharman Shelving. They're fantastic. They'll come out. They came out to my place years ago. My Sharman Shelf garden bench, it still looks like it's brand new. They'll give you a free measuring quote, and it's outside. Then they'll deliver and assemble it all for you.
Or if you want to assemble it yourself, they'll give you all the support you need.
That's right. When it comes to storage solutions, everyone needs a little Sharman in their life. They're at 412 North East Road, Windsor Gardens, sharmanshelving.com.au, or take a look on Facebook.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $17 schnitzel days at Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $17 schnitties Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. Making the world a better place. One schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
14 to 7. Let's talk about the weather. I think everyone's going to be this week because there's going to be some cracking days coming up. Simon Timke at the Bureau has the specifics. Morning to you, Simon.
Morning, Will. Morning, David.
Take us through it.
Yeah, look, mostly sunny day ahead today. Looking at the satellite picture at the moment, clear skies over the Adelaide Plains. There's a little bit of cloud over the eastern side of the Mount Lofty Ranges, but I think once the sun's been up for a little while, that will clear away pretty quickly and plenty of sunshine around. Temperature-wise, we had a minimum temperature 10.2 degrees, just at about 6:30 this morning, sitting on 11.2 at the moment, expecting a maximum of 27 degrees for the city. 27 as well for Mount Barker, 26 for Glenelg and Noarlunga, 29 degrees for Elizabeth today. The wind's pretty light at the moment, and we'll see them tend around south to southwesterly with a bit of sea breeze in the afternoon, and then southeasterly in the evening. A pretty similar day on the way for Wednesday, tiny bit cooler, 26 degrees the maximum after an overnight minimum of 11. The winds again southeasterly, tending around southwesterly with a bit of sea breeze during the afternoon. And then sunny conditions on Thursday up to 30 degrees. Sunny again for Friday, 34, the warmest day of this week. And we will see a little bit of a change, bring some slightly cooler conditions for the weekend. 24 and partly cloudy for Saturday, 23 partly cloudy for Sunday. But both days should remain dry, even with that bit of cloud around. On Monday, mostly sunny day, 23 degrees again. So a bit of warm weather towards the end of the week, guys.
Lovely.
Thanks, you, Simon. All right, let's head to Safe Pole. Senior Constable Matt Brown's on the line. Matt, an appeal's out for a missing woman on the Eyre Peninsula.
That's right, Will. Police are renewing their public appeal for help from the community to locate missing woman Jeanette. She's 63 years old and was last seen leaving her Cowell home at about 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 1st of November, in a silver Toyota Prado with SA Regio of S193AWY. Now, police and family have concerns for her welfare. She's described as being about 173 centimetres tall, with brown hair, medium build. And Air West and local service patrols, along with Star Group and Police Air Wing crews, have searched a large area of the Eyre Peninsula surrounding Cowell, Arno Bay, Cleve and Tumby Bay. So far, been unable to locate her or her vehicle. So we're just asking people to head to our website or our Facebook page, because there's a photo of Jeanette and also a couple of photos of her vehicle, that silver Toyota Prado with Regio S193AWY. So if anyone sees her in the Eyre Peninsula area, please call Police Assistance Line immediately on 131 444.
Matt, also a high-range drink driver has been caught at Smithfield Plains.
That's right, David. About 1:15 a.m. today, police spotted a Hyundai station wagon driving erratically on Peachy Road. Patrol stopped the driver soon after, and he underwent a breath test, returning a positive reading of .220. And the 36-year-old Salisbury man was reported for drink driving. He was issued a 12-month immediate loss of licence notice. His car was impounded for 28 days, so he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date. And so he made the wrong choice there by drinking while driving after he drank alcohol. There we go. I spat it out eventually.
You haven't had an early start this Melbourne Cup day, have you, Matt?
That's right. Haven't been caffeinated yet.
Okay. All right, that explains it. Hey, Matt, you've also got a road safety message ahead of the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, if you are planning to head out to have a punt and a drink as well, police will be out in force conducting both static and mobile driver testing. So, of course, we're urging partygoers to plan ahead and organise public transport, a taxi or rideshare options for today. If you're planning to have a drink with colleagues in the afternoon, don't take the car to work, and drink or drugs and driving do not mix. So have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good on you, Thank you. Good advice as well. Dave in Alberton's called in, wanting to our Alberton correspondent. Dave?
Yeah, morning, guys. So on the back of that timed out controversy last night at the cricket, was just wondering what other things in life could you invoke that rule in? So perhaps waiting at the doctor's surgery 30 minutes after your appointment time, you just go up to the counter and say, look, I'm sorry, but you've been timed out. You're going to have to come and see me. Or at the service station, you're waiting to pay for fuel. They're making 14 coffees. You get to 3 minutes. You go, look, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to pay for the fuel. You've been timed out. Just wondering what other parts of life you can invoke that rule in.
This is great. This is great.
I've tried to invoke the timeout rule with my better half occasionally, but it generally leads to the threat of divorce. So,
getting the kids in the car, that would be a good one. Kids, get in the car! But, Dave, to your point about GPs, have you ever gone to the GP at like the first appointment of the day at 8:30 and they're late already?
Yep.
At 9:15, you sit there wondering, why did I get here at 8:15? Yeah.
That's right.
It's a great call. I like it.
Conversely, I've never waited at the dentist. I've never had to sit there just.
I think that's right.
Staring at my watch, going, "What's going on with the dentist? The dentist's always ready.
Dentists are on time. GPs deliberately not on time. I think.
Is it deliberately or?
I think it's part of the business model.
Just sort of, they get you eventually. If any GPs are listening, we don't need to know your name, but what? Because it is synonymous with the.
I guess there are variables they can't control during the day in terms of length of consult, and then there'll be phone consults and things that you set for 15 minutes. It turns out it's more serious or less serious or whatever. But I don't know. The first one of the day gets me. I don't know why that's the case.
Yeah,
that's bizarre. The time out in life. The coffee one's good. The one thing hasn't been nailed in this world, and we can build AI computers now, but we can't solve the conundrum of having to pay for your petrol in a timely fashion at a place that also serves coffee.
You know, one other conundrum I've had, speaking of dentistry, why is it more expensive to get dentistry for your dog than it is for yourself?
Is it?
Yeah, we had one of our dogs had some teeth removed, and I had one of my teeth removed around the same time. The dog's teeth cost about 3 times as much as mine. It's crazy. Apparently, pet dentistry is where it's at. Like if you want to, buy a weekender in the Swiss Alps as a vet, get into pet dentistry. Because I was thinking maybe next time the dog needs something done,
you take to your dentist.
I might just stuff it down the front of my shirt and take it down the road with me and pretend that it's me. What do you think?
What was if the dentist says, David, I can see you've actually been taking good care of your teeth.
I know I've been eating a greenie every day.
Right, let's head to Edithburgh for our next story. Michael O'Connell is a local resident who joins us, one of a number concerned about the construction of a new phone tower in Edithburgh. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Doesn't sound like I was reading a piece in the local paper, the York Peninsula Country Times, about this, and it sounds like everyone agrees that there is the need for better phone infrastructure there. It just sounds like that the spot that's been picked is drawn the ire of some of the locals.
It definitely has. We certainly agree that there's black spots. There's the signal drops out, and someone's got to work around the house to find a place to get service. And the solution with having, we certainly agree that it needs to be upgraded, and Telstra, we support that. But the 30-metre concrete monopole in the centre of town, surrounded by residences and businesses, that is the issue. And one house is just over 10 metres away, and one's a little bit further away. And they're really concerned about the whole thing with the noise pollution, the electromagnetic emissions, visual impact, and their declining property value. And we believe there's other solutions that could have been explored further that would only, say, 300 metres away, and they would not have that same impact.
So are they looking at putting this thing pretty much smack bang in the middle of town, Michael?
They are, but the actual little block of land behind the post office, and it actually has the switching equipment in there, and Telstra own the land already. And the when they did a sort of site analysis, they used a couple of companies, Advertel and ServiceStream, both subsidiaries of Telstra, to come up with this location. And it's really disappointed us because I went to a meeting some months ago with Telstra representatives, and they said at the time they had two locations in town. One was the centre of town, and that wouldn't work with the residents at all. The other one was on the edge of town near the golf course, and that was the second preferred site, and they were seen to be fine with that. And then all of a sudden we get a notice on their block of land on the gate saying about this proposal, and they really then people got notified within 60 metres to say that this tower's being built, and the other options being explored. We say it'd be fine, and I've spoken to technicians about this, and they can't see why it could be not quite so central, just 200 metres away, where there's suitable land to put the tower there.
Is that there's an area I understand where there's a dispute regarding Crown land, and obviously the telco didn't want to go through the process of having to get that. Is that area that you're talking about?
But one of them's that. One's on the edge of the golf course, which used to be a road one time, so it's already that land that's Crown land or council land. That was one suitable site. The other one, it already has, it's got the sea rescue there, the CFS shed, tennis courts, the football oval with the light towers, which are only recently put in. So it already has infrastructure which is full there. And their only objection to that is it's rejected due to the likely protracted Crown land approval process. And I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's something that they need to rethink, because while the community obviously sees the need for it, the way it's being handled is rubbing them all up the wrong way. Michael O'Connell, thank you for joining us this morning, Michael. Michael O'Connell there from Edithburgh.
It's coming to 3 minutes to 7. After 7 o'clock this morning, we'll take you through a couple of the big stories knocking around the country and locally. Locally, of course, it's the teachers' strike. We'll jump into that. And then nationally and internationally, the Prime Minister's trip to China, the first Prime Minister invited to China in 7 years. He sit down with Xi Jinping, likely to have ramifications for local industry. We hope they are good. You'll hear some of the noises that came out of that meeting just after 7 o'clock. And also, we have another sweep to conduct, another 7 or 8 horses that we're going to put up for your bidding. And if it's you that has a horse that ultimately runs in the top 3 today, you can win yourself $100 worth of unique home-style foods when we award that prize tomorrow morning.
Plenty more to come.
Plenty more to come.
Hey, did you see Sapole had a bit of a shocker in Seaton? Yeah. Raided the wrong house.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
No. Imagine that.
A lot of damage done too. Have you seen the pictures of the house?
Yes.
The front door smashed in, the gate removed.
At least no one was home. But yeah, they actually ram-raided the door, smashed the door down.
I don't know who lives there. Maybe if you live there, you can call us. But if you do, and whoever does, I hope they get better versions of everything they had. I hope it's just not it's a bit of an inconvenience and we'll replace what was broken. I hope that.
The problem was their neighbours had 48 dope plants.
Yeah.
Their immediate next-door neighbours.
Yeah, but it's not a crime, is it, living next door to
No. Yes, exactly. Unbelievable.
If you are those people, we'd love to hear what you're thinking. 8223 0000 5AA News Time.
The heat is on, and air conditioning is one of those necessities we just can't live without. So if your car's aircon isn't keeping you cool, you need an Automasters aircon service. And that funny smell probably isn't a dog, but an unhealthy bacteria build-up in the system. But don't worry, we'll sort that out for you too. Beat the heat. Keep cool with Fix Now, Pay Later options available. Book now. For great service guaranteed, call 1300 Automasters.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Peter from Go Vita, Tanunda. This month we have a great offer on Natural Road's psyllium husk. Gentle fibre to keep you regular. Save 70% off a recommended retail price with 200 grams for only $9.95.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Manopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
I was just doing my job. I didn't think I'd get injured.
The doctor said it was a routine procedure? Right.
The car came out of nowhere and it smashed right into us.
At DBH Lawyers, we're here to listen to your story. Our team of local South Australian lawyers will help you navigate the law and find the best way forward. We're with you. We're for you. We're DBH Lawyers. dbh.com.au.
It's that time of the year when we hear who are the best venues in SA at the Hotel Industry Awards for Excellence. The winners include Warradale Hotel for Best Bistro Outer Metro and Cremorne Hotel Best Bistro Inner Metro. Dalrymple Hotel Stansbury Best Bistro Country. Watervale Hotel Best Restaurant Country. The Playford is Best Restaurant Accommodation Division and the Brompton Hotel has won the Best Restaurant General Division. For a full list of winners, go to ahasa.asn.au.
The heat is on, and if your car's aircon isn't keeping you cool, you need an Automasters aircon service. Beat the heat. Keep cool with Fix Now, Pay Later options available. For great service guaranteed, call 1300 Automasters.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Complete windscreen supply and fit, front, rear and door glass. Proudly South Australian since 1976.
Teachers will walk off the job again over their ongoing push for better pay and conditions. Thursday's strike action's been confirmed after the union rejected a last-ditch offer from the state government. The Education Minister calling the $1.4 billion package the largest pay rise ever offered. But the AEU says the 4% wage increase in the first year would leave some educators worse off. A rally will be held at Parliament House from 11:30 on Thursday. The 5 victims of the Daylesford crash have been named as the town came together last night to remember the lives lost. More from Christina Hearn.
Locals, first responders and politicians gathered for a vigil in Daylesford last night to remember the 5 lives lost in an instant. We now have faces to the tragedy. Pratibha Sharma, who once ran for state parliament, died alongside her 11-year-old daughter Anvi and partner Jatin. The friends they were holidaying with, Vivek Bhatia, and his 11-year-old son also died, while Vivek's wife and other son, aged just 6, are seriously injured in hospital. The 66-year-old driver of the white BMW that crashed into the Royal Hotel Beer Garden is expected to be interviewed by detectives later today.
And police are investigating a crash which ripped a car in half, killing 2 young teenagers in Sydney's southwest. Officers are searching for 2 men who were seen on CCTV fleeing the scene in Ashcroft. It's understood the vehicle had been travelling well above 50 k's an hour in a suburban street before it hit a power pole and a tree. A new survey shows first home buyers are most at risk of feeling the pinch of another interest rate rise. Economists are predicting an increase of 0.25% when the Reserve Bank Board meets today. Compare Club Head of Research Kate Brown says the results show a rate rise is likely and will make owning a home even more stressful.
Always a good advice if you do have a mortgage to do a health check on your mortgage. While some people may not be able to refinance, it's absolutely worth doing that. Failing that, let your lender know if you are struggling. There are things in place to help you.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has met with his Chinese counterpart in Beijing, saying the 2 nations shouldn't be defined by their differences. International conflicts and the need for peace and security in the Indo-Pacific were top of the agenda. Mr Albanese says the talks were productive.
Cooperate where we can, but disagree where we must. And both of us certainly agreed that we shouldn't be defined by our differences, recognise that they are there, but also recognise the mutual benefit that we have.
A high-range drink driver was caught at Smithfield Plains overnight. Police spotted his station wagon driving erratically on Peachy Road just after 1. He allegedly blew .220. The 36-year-old Salisbury man was reported for drink driving, has lost his licence for 12 months and his car's been impounded. And it'll be all hands on deck at local pubs and hotels this Melbourne Cup Day. If you prefer a more authentic Cup atmosphere, Corey Wade from Morfordville says they have a full race program, fashions on the field and entertainment.
It's a great opportunity for everyone to come in, have a good day out and enjoy some fantastic hospitality if they go that way, or a general admission and take in Flourish and the party scene that we have on the lawns there trackside.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Drama at the World Cup overnight with Sri Lankan all-rounder Angelo Matthews dismissed without facing a ball after being timed out. It occurred when Bangladesh captain Shakib Al Hassan appealed to the umpires because Matthews' helmet strap broke as he was about to take strike, meaning he wouldn't be ready to face his first ball within 2 minutes of the previous dismissal. Commentators trying to make sense of it all at the time.
I think Angelo Matthews is trying to explain to Shakib that there's something wrong with the strap which really holds the helmet on your head, and I think Bangladesh just appealed and the umpire says, yes, you time out, you've got to go back, and it's all happening out there.
Audio there thanks to Fox. Bangladesh ended up winning the match by 3 wickets, with Al Hassan making 82 and taking 2 wickets in a man-of-the-match performance. Well, retiring champion jockey Damien Oliver will have to wait until this morning to find out whether his last Melbourne Cup mount will be scratched, with his rider Alan Kerr in doubt due to a foot abscess. Another runner, Cleveland, has already been scratched due to an elevated temperature. Star jockey Frankie Dettori, who never managed to win the Cup, is backing Absurd to take out the $8 million race.
My tip is Absurd, the one I rode in the Hebor. I think in the distance, the ground is ideal for him. He's got a good weight, 53 kilos, and he's got a good draw. Listen, the Melbourne Cup is always wide open.
And Tottenham's quest to go back to the top of the English Premier League has started well with an early goal at home against Chelsea in just the 6th minute.
Kulusevski will shoot with his left foot maybe, and he's ended up in the back of the net. A lucky goal for Spurs. It's a goal for Spurs.
Audio thanks to Optus. Tottenham still leading 1-0 with about 15 minutes to play in the opening half. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now let's check traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
Good morning. Roads are working well for the drive-in today. The freeway looking good from Hindor through to Glen Osmond. Northern Connector, accident and breakdown free. Do have some works at Marion to look out for. Urgent electrical works there. Marion Road near Alawina Avenue, speeds at 25. And slow at Dry Creek. It's on the Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield Interchange off-ramp, speeds at 60. Cameras this morning, Anglevale Road, Virginia, and Dalkeith Road at Seaford Rise. Don't melt in traffic this summer. Get your car serviced at UltraTune, and their expert technicians will ensure your car's air conditioning is running smoothly. Call or search UltraTune today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
Sunny and 27 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 26, sunny on Thursday, 30 and up to 34 on Friday. At the moment, 13. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
8 after 7, good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time on this Tuesday morning. It is Melbourne Cup Day. We're conducting a sweep. I know, what a novel thought. We have already put 8 people in the running with a horse to win a $100 unique Homestyle Foods voucher.
16 to go?
16 to go. No, in fact, there's 15 to go because one's been scratched.
Oh, that's right. There's always a scratching, isn't
so
there?
There'll be a group of 7 and a group of 8. One this hour, one the next hour. Stay listening for the Bugle. We'll play it a little bit later. Also coming up later in the morning, Lucy's movie review. We'll get some tips for you ahead of the big race from Terry McAuliffe. And, of course, it's the second biggest contest of the day is the Melbourne Cup. The biggest will be taking place on the program after 8:30 when we play What Cheese Am I?
I've just had a very productive few minutes during the news break working on the questions. 5 questions today. 5. Count them. What about that?
That's
no excuse for getting this one wrong.
That is exciting. Let's start with a story we're going to be picking up after 7:30 with the Premier of the State, Peter Malinauskas. The teachers have voted to strike. It is going to happen on Thursday. The news came out late last night. I did a double take seeing it. It was a bit. I thought instantly of that moment in Jurassic Park where Ian Malcolm have to tidy up the quote a little bit, but says, "You crazy so and so, you actually did it." I was chatting at the time with someone in State Parliament who, internally the belief was that this was all a desperate final play to get a last and best offer, and they weren't actually going to follow through.
I
with
reckon
the strike.
that would have been the thinking behind a lot of the teachers who did vote yes. That they would have thought, well, okay, we'll do it as a sabre rattling exercise, but still refusing to believe that the union would be so dumb in a winning hearts and minds sense. We've had a text too saying, now I don't know if this is standard across all schools this Friday, but we've had a text from someone who sounds like they're in the know, saying that this Friday is a pupil-free day.
Seriously.
So, you know, I mean, if that's the case, and I know that teachers don't get paid when they go on strike, but it looks like a bit of a 4-day weekend for some of them, in the midst of exams.
Think of principals too at the moment. They're having to make alternative arrangements. Typically, in the strike action, you don't get just 2 days' notice. So as of Monday night, they're going to have 2 full working days before the strike to work out what's going to happen. Usually, you get a bit more than that. So they're going to spend today running around doing something other than the core business of running a school. They're going to be trying to work out how to keep a school open on Thursday amidst strike action. The thing I can't work out for the life of me, so the strike will be on the 9th. If you look at the SACE timetable for exams end on the 17th. You delayed 8 days.
Yeah.
And you have none of the public backlash. You don't cause disruption to a group of students at the most vulnerable and important time of their schooling.
Yeah, but I think what we're seeing here, though...
So is it a deliberate tactic to do it during Year 12 exams?
No, I just think it's the total, complete and utter lack of perspective. The rhetoric from Andrew Gold suggests that the bloke is convinced that there is no worse job on earth than teaching. The language that he used, I mean, he said yesterday that the offer was disgusting. It shows the contempt with which we're held. I don't think the government's remotely contemptuous of public servants. I mean, for crying out loud, you know, talking about the Labor Party here. You know, they're constantly re-elected in this state generally off the largesse and generosity of our higher than average number of public servants. You know, like the idea that the government somehow hates them is the bloke has just drifted off into his own mad orbit, I think.
So the offer was a compounding 4% increase over the first year, then a 3% increase in the second, then 2.5% the year after that. So it would compound. So you'd base the subsequent increase on the increase from the previous year. The union said that the offer was the same, if not worse than the last, and it was disappointing to see such contempt. Haven't spoken publicly since that announcement, but before Andrew Gold laid the groundwork.
Oh, we've compromised all the way along in this. We've negotiated as you'd expect in enterprise bargaining. We've negotiated fairly. We've compromised along the way as you'd expect. So, you know, nothing will change in that respect.
And the other big sticking point still is that they don't think that principals should have a greater say in getting rid of non-performing staff. So, you know, we've got a situation here where they want to do less face-to-face teaching time. They want to run a protection racket for that minority of dud teachers where principals currently have their hands tied with paperwork trying to get rid of anybody. It's a union with a collectivist, old school, all for one, one for all mentality, where the end result of it is that they often end up sounding like a free walking advertisement for shifting your kids into the private system because of the level of this, you know, industrial dinosaur mentality that the union has. They think they're in charge of policy, not the education department, not the government. They think when it comes to NAPLAN, when it comes to performance pay, when it comes to freeing up principals to have more power to act against teachers who are so poor or lazy or unreliable that kids are suffering as a result, the union is there to get in the way of all of that stuff.
A few Dutton's texts coming through at the moment saying it's not a universal pupil-free day next Friday. It must be only one or a
yeah, well,
handful
that's
of
why
schools.
I put that
it's a
caveat on it. In some schools it might be.
Speaking of news that broke overnight, or indeed whilst you were sleeping, the Prime Minister met with his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, in Beijing. Notable for a couple of reasons. The first Australian leader to visit China since 2016, and it came on the occasion of the 50-year anniversary of Gough Whitlam's visit to China in 1973. he was welcomed to the Great Hall. Anthony Albanese had all the sort of the pomp and ceremony about it. What happened when they got down to brass tacks is obviously behind closed doors, but a lot of the noises afterwards were pretty positive.
Not a matter of people wearing, a hat here. It's building a relationship is what's going on here. You build a relationship by engaging, and engaging is how you build a positive nature going forward.
President Xi said China and Australia stood to become trusting partners and were on the correct path of improving and developing relations. Mr Xi told the Prime Minister that Beijing hoped to fully develop the potential of the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement.
It does feel like only a matter of time before, in trade terms, everything goes back to normal, doesn't it?
Well, it feels like everyone wants the same thing now. But, as is the state of international relations, a lot of it's about face-saving. So no one wants to resile from the reasons why things went cold to begin with, but they all want things to return back to normal as quickly as is possible. There'll be more that comes out of that meeting, and we hope more good news for local industry too, namely the wine industry, in the coming days. Should we do some Dutton's text, because they're going bonkers at the moment?
One here saying a pupil-free day is just that, a pupil-free day. It's not a day off for teachers. It is a mandatory training day. They go to work. Look, we get that. What we're talking about here, though, and it's a valid point to make, is that for the schools that are having a pupil-free day Friday, it's a double inconvenience for parents. It's an extra day of childcare that you've got to pay for, or it's an awkward conversation with the boss where you've got to say, look, I'm not only stuffed Thursday, I reckon I'm going to be stuffed Friday. We're going to have the strike Thursday.
Or if you're a casual worker, you miss out on money.
Well, that's right. Exactly. One here, my grandson's primary school has a student-free day on Friday. There seem to be a lot of them these days. One here, Dave and Will, pupil-free days aren't uniform across schools. My school has no more pupil-free days for the rest of the year. One here, Matt and Blair Athol. Morning, guys. My daughter's school has a pupil-free day Friday as well. The last time they had a strike, there was a pupil-free day the next day. Then it was followed by a show day. I'm starting to think that it's planned this way. See, that's the thing. It invites that kind of cynicism.
Keep them coming in. You can call us too on 8223 0000. The Dutton's text line with a huge range of vehicles available on the Hills and Murray Bridge. Dutton's can deliver
One
right
here,
now.
Too, saying our school had sports day scheduled for this Thursday and a student-free day on Friday. So this means that now we won't be able to see our son's first sports day because we wouldn't be able to go to a rescheduled one if they do reschedule it. It's all these little tales from different schools around town. You know, they're the masterminds of their own PR, this union.
All right, well, we're going to talk more with the Premier about this after 7:30. We're going to check traffic in the meantime and come back with Grant Meyer from Morphettville to talk about what's happening locally on Melbourne Cup Day in just a moment. You're tired of back pain? We'll try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. Really smooth sailing for the run-in today. The freeway working well from Hahndorf through to Glen Osmond. Northern Connector looking good. Salisbury Highway accident and breakdown free. Do have works at Dawes Road at the moment. Dawes Road and South Road intersection at Cleve Valley Park. Got some road plates in use there, so pretty slow and pretty bumpy. And got a few cameras around too. You'll find them Phillip Highway, Elizabeth South and Seacombe Road at South Brighton. Win over $275 million in today's USA Power Lotto. Get more zeros in your life with Australia's own lotteryoffice.com.au. Hurry, draw closes in just a few hours. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Well, 19 motorcyclists have now died on South Australian roads this year, as police are very well aware. We were at 60 a year ago, and Superintendent Darren Filkey on the line. What is going on out there?
Oh, Matt, I wish I knew.
Weekday mornings from 9.
Again, we're talking about lives lost and serious injuries on our road. It's frustrating, it's sad.
On 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
When it comes to blinds and curtains, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. They've been manufacturing blinds in Adelaide for over 60 years using the very best materials. With a keen eye for detail, innovation and style, from interior and exterior blinds to stunning shutters and curtains, including motorisation and security products, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. Visit the new showroom at 1239 South Road, St Mary's, or jump online at bobburnsblinds.com.au. Over 5
5,500 Adelaide businesses have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. What's keeping you? One of the easiest ways to save is by switching out your old lighting to energy efficient LEDs. An on-site assessment can help to design the perfect LED lighting system for your business. And with rebates available, a full upgrade might cost as little as $33. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
How easily could you save hundreds off your energy bills? That easy. Switch out your gas or electric hot water system for an energy-efficient heat pump with EcoVantage. Then sit back and save up to 70% on your water heating costs. And get it supplied and installed for as little as $0, thanks to government-facilitated subsidies. Yep, new hot water system from $0 that saves you hundreds. Pump your energy bills down with ecovantage.com.au.
Mawson Lakes Mazda's 2023 Play Clearance Sale is on now. Discover amazing deals across the entire range, including free on-road costs on all cars. That's right, free on-road costs across the entire Mazda range. Hurry in to find your perfect model and colour. The sooner you get to the showroom, the better your chance of scoring your dream car. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
21 after 7, after 7:30 this morning, the Premier and another chance for you to get involved in the 5AA breakfast sweep and win one of 3 $100 vouchers for unique home-style foods. Talking a bit about the Melbourne Cup in terms of the race itself, but of course it's a big day at Morphettville today. Grant Mayer is the CEO of the South Australian Jockey Club. Grant, good morning to you. What have you got on there at Morphettville?
Big day's colour music, great South Australian food and drink. So if you're heading down to Morphettville, it's a beautiful day. So we're really, really excited about today. It's a great celebration of the great race in Australia, and Morphettville's a place to be.
So what's the actual format, Grant? Are there races here as well, or is it all just about watching what's happening over the border?
No, there's 8 races here today in Morphettville. I mean, it's a very simple card for us, but the reality is the eyes are on Melbourne, and so they should be, and also in Sydney. There's some great racing in both states, but today really is celebrating a day out with friends and family, having a great day with people enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the food, enjoying the great hospitality at Morphettville, and obviously watching the great race. I mean, if you look at the amount of events on and around town celebrating this great race, it's quite amazing now.
Is it tricky to organise the race card locally on a day like this? Because I imagine you're trying to sort of organise it around giving people time to watch everything else that's going on as well.
Oh, of course. The reality is all the owners and all the great horses have headed to Melbourne. So the numbers are certainly down. But you know what? There's a great horse population in South Australia, and there's always an opportunity to put a good race meeting on. And as I say, people are there, not so much just for the racing, they're there to spend some time together and enjoy a great day out.
So, Grant, if people just do you need to get tickets in advance, or can you just sort of turn up? Are there still spots to get along and enjoy it?
There's still some hospitality spots available. General admission entry is $35. Come down and enjoy the sounds of a DJ. Down in Flourish, a great general admission area. There's also high-end catering packages up to $350 a head. So still ring our office, get online. Really simple to book. Come out and enjoy the sunshine.
Beautiful day for it. Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Good on you, Grant. Yeah. Grant Mayer there, the CEO of the SA Jockey Club at Morphettville. 24 after 7. Let's keep talking sport. $19 schnitty, Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Burrow hotel. This is a bit of fun. Last night on the sports show was Warren Treadrace. It was Treader's last time on the sports show for the year. So he gave out his awards for the 2023 AFL season. Then a caller called in and said, well, there's one more award to give away.
Go to Margaret at Seaview Downs.
I like the awards, but Warren, you missed one.
Okay.
And it's the 5AA Wingers Award.
Yep.
David Pemberthy, Stephen Rowe, and KG and Cornsey, who wins every year when the finals of the SANFL come along, that the Crows shouldn't be in the SANFL.
All right. So just pick one of that four.
Who whinges the most?
Just pick one, Margaret. Pick
Well,
one of the four.
I usually listen to the sports show and listen to you all the time, but David Pennant is getting close to you, but I'd say you'd win it.
So you reckon he's a song, Margaret?
Well, you whinge every year about it, and it's once the Crows and Port aren't in there, I'm worried about the content of your show because half of it leading up to finals is about, Port and Crows can't win the finals.
Yeah.
What will we do?
No,
Every
fair
year
call.
you do it.
Good feedback.
No, great feedback. I'm happy to take the suki la la, and we do. I can't deny we don't do that.
Well, Margaret, that was absolutely superb.
Oh, I hope Margaret's listening now.
I wish
I'm
Margaret did that as
company.
a sound-off. That would have been great. Could have won $400 worth of Care Alert Smart Dial.
Well, she's still good. We can get her back
Probably
on tomorrow.
still could.
Yeah, why not? Margaret can saddle up.
Do you care to retort?
No. Well, we're not going to have that to complain about soon, the way it's looking, are we? We'll have no Port, probably no Crows. The Crows still haven't said anything about it, have they?
They're not hanging around 1 second longer than Port Adelaide are.
No, the moment it happens, they'll be gone too. You would think.
Yeah, but Port Adelaide's the convenient bad guy.
Yeah,
It's like that.
But it's contingent on having the national competition up and running, though.
Well, yeah, it has to be.
Because otherwise the players, what they can do
be
is sitting around hoping to get selected, doing a bit of kick down at their local park during the week.
Yeah, well, they join the VFL like Gold Coast have.
Well, maybe.
That might be the alternative. Because there's an element of it that it feels like the cart's before the horse.
Yeah, they want to leave a competition to go to one that's not ready to take them. That's the problem with it now.
But I can't believe, they know that. So I can't believe that there isn't, we can't read between the lines that there's been conversations about either A, the National Reserves competition will be up and running, or B, the VFL's ready and willing to take them.
There's a lot of logistical stuff that needs to be thought through too. Like there's big cost issues as well. Like you're going to fly these players around every second week. You've got an entire team that's got to go into state with all the coaches and assistant coaches, and if they're night games, they're going to have to stay in hotels. Like there's a lot of money.
Well, I think the AFL's doing all right.
Yeah, well. But is the AFL going to say, don't worry, we'll pick up the tab for all of it?
I think they'll have to, because there'll be certain clubs that wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm not even talking about the Adelaide clubs. I'm talking about, imagine some of the smaller Melbourne clubs that they have to suddenly start paying for trips to Perth and Adelaide.
That's true.
And we know they won't let them struggle financially.
Yeah. Anyway, Margaret,
what a magnificent
we salute
call.
you.
That was just great. Absolutely sensational. More on the sports show tonight, $19 Shindy Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel. 5AA News coming up, the Premier next, and immediately after the Premier, the bugle will sound, and we'll put some more listeners in the running to win some fantastic, unique home-style foods.
At Coles, there's great value hands down across fruit and veg this week. Like sweet 100% Aussie raspberries, just $5 for a 125-gram punnet. Get great value hands down at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
When is a good time to organise a roof restoration, outdoor blinds, roller shutters or gutters? Well, it's any time with Focus Home Improvements. You see, Dave from Focus, how about this? His loss could be your gain. He's newly separated. So Dave has plenty of time on his hands. You can call day or night, anytime, 3 a.m. Doesn't matter. If he doesn't answer, just leave a message. He says, unless, of course, you're his ex.
This ad's hilarious. Now is an opportune time, clearly, to get in touch with Focus Home Improvements, because if you want your rollers, shutters or outdoor blinds installed before Christmas, they can still make it happen.
He's going to work through it, Dave. The added bonus by acting now is that you'll get free installation. That's right, free installation of your roller shutters and outdoor blinds before Christmas, but you have to act now.
So to arrange a free no-obligation quote, visit focushomeimprovements.com.au or call in and see Cheryl and Dave, the aforementioned Dave, at the Focus showroom inside the Colonnade Shopping Centre.
Adelaide Direct Stationers is more than just stationery. We're one of SA's largest suppliers of tech products, washroom products, PPE, workplace health and safety equipment, office furniture, food, snacks, beverages and much more. We have all your office and business needs in one place. with free next day delivery on orders over $50, plus same day 2-hour express delivery. Adelaide Direct Stationers, serving SA's largest businesses and a preferred government supplier. Visit AdelaideDirectStationers.com.au.
It's a frightening thought, but what if you lost the capacity to manage your financial affairs? If you're not at the helm, who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 with the 7:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
This week's teachers' strike is going ahead after the state government's latest pay offer was rejected. Mel Usher has details.
Teachers in public schools will walk off the job this Thursday, which happens to fall in the first week of Year 12 exams. They've rejected the state government's latest pay offer, saying it fails to make any real improvement on the last. The teachers' union stating the latest deal, featuring a 4% wage increase in its first year, would leave some educators worse off. The AEU says if they don't get this right, not only will they continue to lose the current workforce, but fail to attract the next generation. The full day of strike action will include a rally at Parliament House from 11:30 Thursday morning.
The driver involved in the horror weekend crash at Daylesford is expected to be interviewed by police today. The victims have been identified. They're a 30-year-old man and his partner, a 44-year-old woman. They were killed alongside the woman's 9-year-old daughter. A 38-year-old man and his son were also killed. A vigil was held in Daylesford last night for the victims. Mayor Brian Hood says many locals are coming to terms with the tragedy.
Quite frankly, it's put them into a state of shock. The size and scale of this event is just enormous. It's unprecedented in these parts of Victoria, and I think people are fairly numb. They're incredibly upset, and they really feel for these victims.
And New South Wales police are hunting 2 men who fled the scene of a high-speed crash which killed 2 young teenagers in Sydney's southwest. CCTV footage shows the driver and front seat passenger clambering out of the wreckage at Ashcroft, leaving 2 boys aged 13 and 14 for dead. Australians are pushing for the federal government to cut its own spending and reduce taxes. The Reserve Bank's expected to raise interest rates today, making it the 13th increase since May last year. A fresh news poll's urging the government to offer more cost of living relief to help deal with high inflation. While a new survey reveals Generation X is struggling to save money, research from Compare the Market shows 38% of the age group don't have any savings to their name. The Prime Minister and Chinese President have met in Beijing discussing trade and economic relationships. Removing the last of the punitive tariffs on Australian products, as well as international conflicts and the security of the Indo-Pacific region, were top of the agenda. Mr Albanese says it was a productive meeting.
The deals that are being done in wine as we speak at the moment. I noted very much unimpeded trade was in the interests of both countries, was good for Chinese consumers as well as Australian exporters.
And it's no longer a crime to be drunk in public in Victoria just in time for Melbourne Cup Day. But Mental Health Minister Ingrid Stitz says anyone who poses a risk to themselves or the public will still be dealt with by police or paramedics.
So I want everybody to have a fantastic spring carnival. I want them to do it safely. But for those small number of individuals who might find themselves with some additional needs or need some additional support, that additional support will now be available.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderol.com.au.
And Tomerin, some breaking news for a Melbourne Cup runner.
Yeah, and it's good news as well for retiring jockey Damien Oliver Kendall. He is set to ride one last time in the Melbourne Cup with Alan Kerr past fit for today's great race. It's a big boost for organisers with Cleveland already scratched yesterday. Willie Mullins for Ban is the favourite, followed by the Freedman trained Without a Fight. Jockey Billy Egan is aiming to win on board 20 2019 winner, Vow and Declare.
It'd be real humbling. He's obviously been a really good horse in the past for the stable. I've built a good connection with him, and it's always good when the sort of battlers or the blue collars get up.
Let's go to cricket. Sri Lankan all-rounder Angelo Matthews has lashed out at Bangladesh and their skipper Shakib Al Hassan after he became the first player ever in international cricket to be timed out. It happened when his helmet strap broke and he asked for another one, meaning he didn't face up for his first delivery before the 2-minute deadline. Matthews spoke post-match and said all players could see what was happening and it was a low act from the captain Al Hassan.
I have 2 minutes to get to the crease and get myself ready, which I did, and then it was an equipment malfunction, and I don't know where the common sense went, because obviously it's disgraceful from Shakib and Bangladesh if they want to play cricket like that.
Bangladesh ended up winning that match by 3 wickets. And it's been a simply chaotic first half between Tottenham and Chelsea in the English Premier League. Now Spurs took the lead, but then controversially had defender Christian Romero sent off, despite winning the ball first in a challenge.
The upshot in the end, this penalty, which gives Chelsea another opportunity to make it 1-1. And it just gets in. So it is 1-1.
Audio thanks to Optus. Now, to make matters worse, one of their best players, James Maddison, has limped off injured for Spurs, and defender Mickey van der Ven has also just been subbed off after ripping his hamstring. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Action-packed match. Now let's check 5AA traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
G'day there. Roads are looking really good for the run-in today. The Southern Expressway accident and breakdown free. Really good run on the freeway too this morning from Bridgeway all the way into Glen Osmond, which is excellent. Getting quite slow, however, Main North Road at Enfield and busy South Road at Ferguson. Do have works at Clovelly Park. Watermain works there at South Road at Dawes Road. Road plates are new. Speeds reduced and it is quite bumpy. And got a camera Fraser Avenue at Happy Valley. Did you know at UltraTune you can get a manufacturer's handbook service for your car and not void your new car statutory warranty? Call or search UltraTune today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
Sunny and 27 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 26. Sunny again on Thursday, 30 and 34 for Friday. At the moment, 14. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
22 to wait. If you want to be involved in our 5AA Breakfast Melbourne Cup sweep, we've got the Copper COVID Safe Bowl in the studio, and there's about, 15 more horses' names in there?
Yep.
Stay listening. We'll sound the bugle very, very shortly. But let's start the half hour with the Premier of the State on the teachers' strike that we now know confirmed will be going ahead on Thursday. Premier, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Tembo.
So, strong language from Andrew Gold overnight, Premier. He's accused the government of showing contempt towards teachers. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely not. We've, throughout these negotiations, Dave, been seeking to work in good faith with the Teachers Union and teachers more broadly. We've acknowledged some of their more legitimate concerns around workload, and we've sought to address that. We've increased our pay offer as recently as yesterday. And, you know, if I'm honest with you and your listeners, I'm pretty disappointed by the conduct of the union's leadership. They said publicly that an improved offer would allow them time to consider and go away and do the work. We put an approved offer to them early yesterday afternoon, and then a few hours later, they're out on strike again. If they wanted to reject our offer, clearly that's an option available to them. But what they should at least do is put a counter offer to us, or alternatively say, we acknowledge the government's improved the offer, and now let's continue to negotiate. Instead, it was this again, a rush to strike, which I think is unfortunate, not from the government, not for the government, but for parents out there who are now left wondering about what happens on Thursday, let alone the Year 12 students who are going to be sitting their exams on Thursday.
Do you need to think about maybe muscling up a bit more tactically to them and saying, listen, we're not going to be held hostage by these unrealistic demands? I mean, we saw the nurses get 3, the AMBOs get 2.4. They've been demanding more than 8. Is there a point where... Sorry,
let me say Well, let me say publicly, Dave, what I've made clear to the union directly now myself, because more recently I've sought to engage with the union's leadership. There is no way that the government can accommodate their 8% plus pay increases. That's just not going to happen. It is simply beyond the capacity of the budget to be able to absorb a cost that amounts to billions of dollars, while at the same time, we, of course, as a state government, are investing very heavily in the public education system. There are a whole range of policies that we have developed that the union support and acknowledge, well, privately at least, they acknowledge are good things to do for public education. 3-year-old preschool, dramatically increasing the number of allied health professionals available in schools, what we've done around country allowances for regional teachers. These are all things that the government has done outside of EBA negotiations. So we're serious about public education. But the idea that we can just give an 8% increase when nurses accepted 3%, AMBO's accepted a bit less than that is patently absurd, and it's just not going to happen. So I'm more than happy to say that publicly as much as I've said it privately. We have accommodated in our dealings with the teachers an increased offer now, offering them 4% in the first year, which is, that's a pretty significant step forward, along with the fact that we are going to reduce non-instructional, we are going to provide additional non-instructional time, that is less teaching time for teachers, which means we're going to employ hundreds of more teachers to backfill those hours. We're putting all this on the table, and within hours of us improving our offer, they're back out on strike again rather than sitting down the negotiating table. And I think that's beyond poor form. I actually think that's the union leadership acting in a way that is inconsistent with their own members' interests. So we're not going to take a backward step. I'm still willing to negotiate in good faith. We are going to be the responsible, reasonable actors here, but it'll be the South Australian community who ultimately judge the actions of both the government but also the union in this instance, and I'm being very frank about what our position is.
One of the tactics that's upset listeners the most, Premier, is the decision to take the action in the middle of Year 12 exams. If it had been delayed by 8 days, even just over a week, it wouldn't have caused that sort of level of inconvenience. In your negotiations with the union, was the timing of the strike action and the reasons behind it being now discussed at all?
Our objective all the way through has been to avoid strike action full stop, which is why the union said we want an improved offer by Monday afternoon. The government responds with an approved offer Monday afternoon. Monday night, they're out on strike, is what they're communicating. So we have wanted to avoid this strike action. I think it's sort of completely at odds with public sentiment having a strike during Year 12 exams. And even if you put aside public sentiment, I think it's at odds with what many teachers would want to see happen.
Mm.
So, I don't understand it. These are their decisions, not mine. They're, of course, entitled to their own position. But I think a far more mature response from the union would have been, we acknowledge the government's improved offer. We still would like to see, movement in these areas, and we're willing to continue to negotiate. Instead, they jumped to strike, and I think that's very disappointing for everyone that's affected.
There's no legislative or statutory mechanism by which you can prevent the strike from happening because it's protected industrial action in the course of a negotiation. But if we're going to keep having this ring-a-ring-a-rosy back and forth with the AUU and they're just being completely unreasonable, as you seem to be suggesting that they are, can the government just sort of say, listen, all bets are off, you can strike as much as you like, but we are not going to improve the offer? Because otherwise, you could risk looking a bit weak if you eventually sort of cave in to their ever-increasing demands.
Well, like I said, Dave, we're willing to negotiate in reasonable terms of good faith. We cannot accommodate the extreme request that the union has, particularly around pay. It's just not going to happen. So until such a time that we are negotiating with good faith actors, we're going to struggle to get a resolution. But look, I remain optimistic. I mean, there hasn't been a teachers' enterprise agreement for decades now where the teachers haven't gone on strike. This is par for the course for them. And I'm not aware of too many instances where these tactics have actually ended up changing the result, and I suspect the same will be true here. So my message to Andrew Gold, but it's not just Andrew Gold, it's the entirety of the union executive, is get back to the negotiating table with a willingness to resolve this dispute rather than rushing out on strike.
Is the totality of the difference in the position between the government now and the union about pay, or there are some other elements that we know that Andrew Gold has raised? We've spoken with him in the past about contact hours, teaching hours, face-to-face teaching time, and classroom assistance and so forth. Has that all been agreed on?
So there's a few issues that I'm keen on, and there's a few issues the union is keen on. The government wants to see confirmation in the agreement around our providing principals more autonomy about the teachers that work in their school. This is something I committed in the lead up to the state election. I believe that principals should be able to determine to a greater degree than what has been the case in the past about what teachers are working in their school. That's what we pay principals to do. They deserve to have that authority and autonomy. We have seen some movement in the right direction there, which is positive. In respect to the unions, one of the principal claims they had from the outset is they want to reduce the amount of time they spend face-to-face in front of students. Now, I think their original ask was patently absurd. They've moderated their position, and we as a government are willing to acknowledge the increased burden on the amount of work that teachers have to do outside of face-to-face teaching. So what we're now down to in that respect is how long it'll take for that extra hour a week of non-instructional time to be phased in for teachers. We wanted to phase in over 7 years. They wanted to be phased in over a shorter period. Now, what that means, just to give your listeners a bit of context there, is that every time, because we will not abide by it, and the government will not accept a position where we reduce the number of hours where students are getting educated, that is non-negotiable from our perspective. Because that is the case, that means we have to employ more teachers. And employing more teachers at the moment, and with incredibly low unemployment in the state's economy, is difficult. So it's just going to take time to phase it in. So that's something that we're negotiating, and we have demonstrated movement to the union on. But again, that's something that needs to be addressed. But we're getting closer on that issue. So I think the principal issue is now around wages.
Which they said at the start had nothing to do with money. Premier Peter Malinauskas, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
You know what they say, Dave? Whenever someone says it's not about the money, it's always about the money.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Peter Malinauskas there. Thanks for joining us this morning on 5AA Breakfast.
13 minutes to 8. Lots of Dutton's texts coming through, and a pretty even division between people saying, look, the government needs to, this is what negotiation's all about, they need to come to the party and support the teachers, and other people saying this is patently ludicrous, doing it during Year 12 exams, and what's being asked for is obscene. We'll get to all of your texts shortly. Also, coming up after the break... Get calling now, 8223 David has the COVID-safe copper bowl.
The trusty bowl is ready.
And
some good horses left.
We'll be drawing out 7 or 8 more horses' names in just a moment. Let's check traffic in the meantime, thanks to Keezer. Tired of back pain? Try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. Dry Creek, a breakdown on the north-south motorway near the Wingfield interchange. Busy at the moment, South Road at Theberton, slow, Main North Road at Enfield. Works at Salisbury at the moment, Park Terrace near Paternoster Road, speeds at 25. And Clovelly Park, Waterway works continuing on South Road at Dawes Road. Road plates in use, speeds reduced, and it's quite bumpy through there. Got a camera too, Grand Boulevard at Seaford Rise. Captain Marvel returns in a blockbuster superhero team-up you can't miss on the big screen. Marvel Studios' The Marvels in cinemas November 9. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Right now, Toyota Material Handling is having a massive clear-out of 2022 and 23 plated forklifts. Score great deals across a selected range of new Toyota forklifts currently in stock. Counterbalance and reach forklifts, walkie stackers and more. So if it's 22 or 23 plated, get a great Toyota forklift deal. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get a Toyota forklift. T's and C's apply. Offer ends December 31.
Now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens.
Boy, that's a cookie
Oh, busted. My mistake. Let's see. Here it is. Here's one from Renette, an interior designer at Buy Urban for over 20 years. Renette swears to ensure your dream bathroom becomes a wonderful reality. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Wouldn't mind a cookie.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now, I know a great team and I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. I've known them for a long time. David Shipway is one of the best blokes you'll ever meet. BL Shipway, they've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. And if you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blowing up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
The sun is shining, so it's the perfect time to farewell hefty electricity bills and welcome a brighter future with NRG Solar. Unlock the power of the sun with cutting-edge solar battery technology that's backed by a rock-solid 10-year warranty, saves you thousands, and empowers you to control your energy usage like never before with a simple-to-use app. This summer, add value to your home and say goodbye to blackouts. Don't wait. Visit nrgsolar.com.au. That's nrgsolar.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
9 to 8, the 5AA Breakfast Melbourne Cup Sweep is underway. If you get a horse that runs in the top 3 this afternoon, you win a unique Homestyle Foods $100 voucher. All the names have been put in the Copper COVID Safe Bowl. Helen in Glanville is the first caller through. Let's draw Helen's horse. What have we got for Helen?
We have number 3, Without a Fight. Good on you, Helen.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great. Thank you very, very much.
It's one of the favourites.
Good on you, Helen. We aim to please. Karen, good morning.
Good morning.
Karen, you have number 17, Military Mission. 17,
Thank
Military
you.
Mission.
Good on you, Karen.
Good luck.
One to cheer for. Gary, good morning.
Morning, Will. Morning, Dave.
Gary, number 21, Future History, which is the one that Tommy Wren tipped. So there you go.
I'll take that.
Well,
very nice.
Commiserations, Gary. Pete in Arundel, good morning.
Morning, Dave. Morning, Will.
Now, Pete, I think you've got the red-hot favourite. Number 5, Vauban, paying $3.20. So there you go, and with a huge chance.
Wowee.
Good stuff.
Indeed. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
Jill, you have number 16, Magical Lagoon. Magical
That
Lagoon.
is good.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
sounds good.
151 to 1.
Yeah, not great, but you know,
well.
crazy things have happened.
Not many, though. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, Andrew, you have number 2, Alan Kerr. Alan Kerr.
We just got the good news through that was not scratched.
Scratched.
Damien Oliver's final ride.
Off the mat.
At the Melbourne Cup.
How many more do we need? 3?
No, just one more.
One more.
Mark in Grange, good morning.
And Mark in Grange, number 20, More Felons. Number 20,
Thank you, lads.
More Felons. Good on you, mate. Good luck.
Sounds like the Sapole cross.
Thank
you, Mark. Keep that number plugged into your phone, 8223 and we will sound the bugle again in the final hour of the program and give you, what are we up to? 7 more horses loose? 7 more.
Yeah.
8 more.
2,
8
3,
more. We've lost track.
4, 5,
David's going to...
6. Yeah, 8 to come. We did 7 then.
Okay, we did 7 then, so we got 8 to come. All right, it's time for John Blake. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight, distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast, 13 13 64.
Moving in well for the 2023 Melbourne Cup. A couple to go in. Men in shorts look idiotic, moves in well. Get a decent Santa for the pageant, goes in. We see this runner every year, but sadly hasn't improved. Next in, Cornsey crashed his bike, been a fairly regular start of this horse. And last to go in, Has Anyone Seen My Shoes? They're all in now for the 2023 Melbourne Cup. Ready to go. Standing by for a start. Off now in the Cup, and first out was Hope I Don't Vomit in the Uber like last year. They're followed by Cost of Living Crisis, and apparently I can still afford to gamble. Wang Wang is wide out, running away from Foodie Must Be Ugly, and over on the rail is Don't Blame Boomers for Your Problems, and just because I'm wearing a suit doesn't make me a decent person. Moving up on the outside is No Such Thing as a Gambling Addiction, and Hold My Hair While I Spew in the Bush. A length further back to I Think I'll Ride an Electric Scooter Home, being boxed in by What Could Go Wrong. Then came Croc Monsieurs, and last is Should Know How to Pronounce That by Now. As they approach the 400, Good Excuse to Get Pissed is leading the field, followed by Once a Year Expert and Let's Get Some Girls to Do a Handstand. Rounding the turn and getting a good run on the inside is Working From Home is great, together with But Geez I'm Lonely and the rest of the year I Don't Like Horse Racing. Down the straight it's Race That Stops the Nation, followed by Yeah Right, and a length further back to Let's Do a Shoey. Closed in on the rails is Why Does This Champagne Taste Funny, and Gosh Your Foot Sweat is Delicious. As they run for home, it's Get a Decent Santa for the pageant from Cornsey Crashed His Bike, and half a length to Why Do All Jockeys Sound the Same. Gamble Responsibly is getting a good run on the outside with What a Dumbass Thing to Make Broadcasters Say. Out wide is Gay Waterhouse, played the part of Prester in Doctor Who, followed by She Was Also in The Young Doctors. Down the straight and heading for home is This Call is a lot shorter than The Real Thing, just in front of Jump Up and Down Like a Dickhead and Wouldn't Know one end of a horse from the other. With a clear run on the outside now is Get a Load of the Chick in the pink dress, and Let's Get Inside a Dumpster, followed by Drink Responsibly Means Nothing, and Why Did Santa at the pageant Sound Like My Lawnmower Man? And here comes Think I'll Lie Down Here in a Puddle of My Own Urine Till the Police Wake Me Up, and they won't get him from there. Think I'll Lie Down Here in a Puddle of My Own Urine Till the Police Wake Me Up wins the Melbourne Cup, followed by Left My Dignity at Home. Then came Hard to Believe KG's only 3 years older than Paul McCartney, Hold My Hair While I Spew in the Bush. Crowd Around Me So I Can Have a Wee was next. Then came My Boss Thinks I'm Working From Home. A length further back there to Didn't Call the Same Horse Twice, followed by Except for the Winner and Bet You Didn't Notice. Let's Do a Shoey. Think I'll Ride an Electric Scooter Home. Then came What Could Go Wrong. And Stone Motherless last was If They're So Concerned, Why Didn't Extinction Rebellion Glue Themselves to the Track, the Gutless Bastards.
More from John Blake coming up after 8:30 when we go behind closed doors.
Hard to get the old arrowdite to stick to grass, I guess.
Probably.
Is there a more disgusting thing ever invented than the shoey? It's putrid, isn't it? Did it start in Formula One?
Did Daniel Ricciardo start it? Sam will know the answer. Started in supercars, apparently. David Reynolds is the founder of the shoey. It is gross.
Like, there's no amount of money in the world that would make me drink beer out of someone's shoe.
How did Melbourne Cup sort of come to represent the peak of sartorial splendour, but the low point of human conduct generally?
What, Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, Melbourne Cup Day. The day. So you dress up as fancy as humanly possible.
And then end up rolling around in the mud 5 hours later.
Why is that? Why does horse racing do that?
Oh, I don't know.
How did that happen?
And there's always those photo galleries.
Oh, the papers love them, don't they?
Well, in terms of web traffic, that is one of the most clicked on things of the year.
I mean, it's kind of funny thing.
Oh, someone
embarrassing
upside down in a sulo bin.
Yeah, falling into a bush.
With their party dress over their head.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, it's very... it's killer clickbait, that stuff.
Breaking at 8 is coming up after 8 o'clock. We'll sound the bugle and put the remaining 8 horses to 8 of our listeners and put you in the running to win those excellent unique homestyle food vouchers. And we'll also get some tips for you if you want to have a punt. Gamble responsibly, of course. We'll speak to Terry McCauley from racing.com for some expert comments right after 5AA News.
With help from FIVEAA Milk Company and the Udder Way, cafes all over Adelaide have joined the fight to reduce plastic waste. Instead of single-use plastic bottles, they've introduced the Udder Way's reusable 18-litre kegs. In the initial week, they stand to eliminate 1,500 plastic bottles. Together with other cafes, supermarkets, schools, restaurants, hotels and workplaces, millions of single-use plastic bottles will be taken out of circulation. You gotta feel good about that. Visit fleuriomilkco.com.au for more.
When it comes to blinds and curtains, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. They've been manufacturing blinds in Adelaide for over 60 years using the very best materials with a keen eye for detail, innovation and style, from interior and exterior blinds to stunning shutters and curtains, including motorisation and security products, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. Visit the new showroom at 1239 South Road, St Mary's, or jump online at bobburnsblinds.com.au.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. What's keeping you? Did you know that you might be eligible for a rebate on a new appliance like a dryer or fridge? You might even qualify for a purchase you've already made. Just visit the Yes website for a list of appliances and the size of the cashback available. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from your energy saving solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
For the best advice and price on tyres and mechanical, see City Discount Tyres. With local deals on the world's biggest and best brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts for four-wheel drive, SUVs and passenger cars. Finance available. Find your nearest dealer at citydiscounttyres.com.au. We're driven by value.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Complete windscreen supply and fit, front, rear and door glass. Proudly South Australian since 1976.
The Education Union has accused the government of showing contempt towards teachers with its latest pay offer. The government put forward a revised offer yesterday, calling the $1.4 billion package the largest pay rise ever offered. But the union says it's still not acceptable and Thursday's strike will go ahead in the midst of Year 12 exams. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told David and Will it's a blow for students and parents.
We've acknowledged some of their more legitimate concerns around workload, and we've sought to address that. We've increased our pay offer, and if I'm honest with you and your listeners, I'm pretty disappointed by the conduct of the union's leadership.
Homeowners are being warned of a potential interest rate hike at today's Reserve Bank board meeting. Michael Packy has details.
Inflation is showing signs of moderating in Australia, but it's not happening fast enough. The International Monetary Fund believes interest rates need to rise to drag inflation down more quickly. Many economists are predicting rates will increase 0.25% at today's RBA board meeting, which would make it the 13th hike since May last year. The federal government claims it's doing its bit to drag inflation down by slashing infrastructure spending on the back of worker and material shortages, which has led to severe cost blowouts on some projects.
2 men are being urged to hand themselves in after a horror crash in Sydney's southwest, which has left 2 young teenagers dead. CCTV footage shows the driver and front seat passenger clambering from the wreckage at Ashcroft, leaving 2 boys aged 13 and 14 for dead. Police say they know who they're looking for. And Victorian police hope to interview the driver involved in Sunday night's horror crash in Daylesford today. More from Gail Watson.
5 victims from Sunday night's crash have been identified as hailing from Point Cook and Tarneet. A 30-year-old man and his partner, a 44-year-old woman, were killed along with the woman's 9-year-old daughter, all from Point Cook, while a 38-year-old man and his 11-year-old son from Tarneet were both killed. Police initially hoped to speak with the driver, a 66-year-old Mount Macedon man, on Monday, but late in the day they said he remained in hospital and they anticipated he will be interviewed today.
China's vowing to improve its relationship with Australia, ending years of diplomatic isolation. The Prime Minister has sat down with President Xi Jinping in Beijing, the pair discussing trade, conflict and security in the Indo-Pacific. Anthony Albanese has described the talks as a success, saying the relationship is moving forward. The UN's demanding a humanitarian ceasefire in the Middle East as the death toll rises in Gaza. Palestinian health authorities claim more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed since the conflict began a month ago. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says an entire population is under attack.
Let me be clear. No party to an armed conflict is above international humanitarian law. Gaza is becoming a graveyard for children. Hundreds of girls and boys are reportedly being killed or injured every day.
And it's Melbourne Cup Day, and if you can't be at Flemington, Corey Wade from Morfordville says they have plenty on offer.
We're looking at a crowd of over 3,000 with tickets still available at the gate for general admission. It's the only place, obviously, in South Australia where you can watch horses live on the day as well as telecasts from the races from Melbourne.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. History has been made at the Men's One-Day Cricket World Cup. Sri Lankan all-rounder Angelo Matthews has become the first player in history to be timed out. Fourth umpire Adrian Holdstock explaining the rule in the innings break.
When it comes to timed out, at a fall of a wicket or even a retirement of a batsman, the incoming batter has to be in position and ready to receive the ball within 2 minutes, or his other partner to receive the ball in 2 minutes.
Audio there thanks to Fox, but the reason those 2 minutes elapsed are because Matthews' helmet strap broke, meaning he needed a new helmet. But Bangladesh insisted on the appeal, meaning Matthews was given out. Bangladesh ended up winning the match by 3 wickets. Meantime, South Australia will resume at 2 for 190 on day 2 of its Shield clash against Queensland at the Gabba. Well, champion jockey Damien Oliver has been cleared to ride in his final Melbourne Cup. Eddie Summerfield is at Flemington.
An early morning vet check has delivered the best possible news for Damien Oliver. His ride, Alan Kerr, was found to have improved significantly overnight after showing signs of soreness in the near forefoot yesterday. The horse will again be inspected when he arrives at the track later this morning as a precaution. It means the 51-year-old will get a chance to ride a record-equalling 4th Melbourne Cup winner after announcing this would be his last mount in the race that stops the nation.
Tosoko Tottenham is desperately trying to hold on in its English Premier League match against Chelsea. Spurs are down to 10 men and have had 2 starters forced off through injury. Scores currently locked at 1-1 early in the second half. And there was one game in the NBL overnight, the Perth Wildcats beating Melbourne United by 7 points in overtime. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
At Dry Creek, a breakdown on the north-south motorway near the Wingfield interchange. Busy at the moment, South Road at Theberton, slow Main North Road at Enfield. Got some works happening at the moment at Clovelly Park, water main works there, South Road at Dawes, where I got road plates in use, so really slow and really bumpy with the camera down Keith Road at Seaford Rise. Enjoy exceptional savings on Mercedes-Benz demonstrator models and a 4.99% comparison rate when you finance with Mercedes-Benz Financial. Limited time, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
Sunny and 27 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 26. Sunny on Thursday, 30 and up to 34 on Friday. At the moment, 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
7 after 8. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time on this Tuesday, the official day of the season of indolence in Australia. If you feel like you're not giving 100%, well, that's just sort of...
You're doing your patriotic duty.
Exactly right. You've got from now until, Australia Day, to just bludge ever so slightly.
It's all about meeting avoidance.
This message...
Not starting new projects.
This message not sanctioned by the Productivity Commission.
No, that's right.
We're in aid of that.
We've done enough for the year, surely.
I reckon. It's too late to catch up now. That is the COVID safe copper bowl.
I've been tapping away on it. It's got a sort of... It sounds a bit like those...
Oh, it's a utilitarian
I feel
object.
like I should be chanting in the mall, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What happened to the Hare Krishnas? Did you ever see them anymore?
I think they're around.
But they don't go down the mall on Friday nights like they used to. It was a huge thing in the 70s. People used to get really angry about it. I don't know why.
I think they've been out. There are far more eccentric groups around these days. I think that's what's happened.
Better them than those shouty, you're all burning in hell people.
Oh, yeah.
They're a total pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But the Hare Krishnas, they used to have a good restaurant in Hindley Street where you would get this massive amount of vegetarian curries and it was like
beautiful
$1.
Oh, goodness.
It was all the rage for a while for those of us who had
Well, maybe
no
they've
money.
just been, maybe cost of living caught up with them.
Maybe.
Inflation just made it too hard to be a Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Oh. You think I'm made of chickpeas?
We're going to play the bugle shortly and put the remaining 8 horses to 8 of our listeners, give you the chance to win a unique Homestyle Foods voucher. We've got 3 of them to give away, so if your horse runs first, second or third, you've got a whole bunch of excellent food, pastries, baked goods coming your way to give you a sense of, what kind of chance your horse has, or indeed, if you want to have a punt over the course of the day, we're going to chat with Terry McAuliffe very shortly to get some serious racing insights, some tips, because I think they've been short. We've been short on them this morning. It's not sort of our wheelhouse.
Well, we got Tom's.
Yep. Rennie's done his bit.
21, 3, 5, 6, 11. Future History is the horse that Tom likes.
All right. Oh, let's go breaking at 8, and we'll get back into a Melbourne Cup in just a moment.
Well, with all of the attention on the blue between the Malinowskis government and the AEU over their pay dispute, there's another industrial battle that actually tells a real interesting story about how we now live and work in this country. And it's happening at the federal level. It involves the CPSU, which represents federal public servants. Now, the federal government has offered the federal public servants a 12.2% increase. The union, however, has turned around and is asking for almost double that. They're saying we want 20%. And part of the claim hinges on work from home provisions. Now, there's new data that's attached to this claim showing the extent to which working from home has become standard and is increasingly now standard across the public service. 55% of federal public servants now say that they have work from home provisions as part of their agreements, their workplace agreements. That's a rise of 9% since 2021. Now, in some workplaces, in some of these government departments, the rate at which people are working from home, it's almost half of their working life now is spent in the spare room. In the finance department, 17% of staff now work 4 days a fortnight from home. In the infrastructure department, it's 37% of staff working 4 days a fortnight from home. And interestingly, in the context of this dispute, the CPSU is now saying to the federal government that if they want to find the money to fund this 20% pay rise, one way the federal government could do it is to actually start selling some government buildings or cancel some government rental agreements with privately owned buildings, because with the number of people who are actually physically in the office starting to approach more than roughly half of what it was only 5 years ago, they simply don't need the space anymore. The people I feel for are those who, through no fault of their own, took out long-term leases for hospitality and retail businesses
Absolutely.
in CBDs, assuming that there'd be people working there.
You know what it feels like the equivalent of to be? Anyone who bought taxi plates in about 2018, 17.
Before Uber came along.
Before Uber came along.
Yeah.
And suddenly the rug is pulled from beneath you.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And things change. And it's not your fault. No one could foresee it.
Yeah.
And that's just how things have changed.
It feels so different. I reckon the city now, I often come in during the day and I think, gee, it's so quiet. So quiet compared to what it was.
Oh, you walk down Rundle Mall and it's unrecognisable from
amazing.
A decade ago. That won't be the case in Melbourne today. It's going to be a flood of people. It is a public holiday in Victoria, isn't it?
Yes.
Today? Public holiday, and the drinking laws have been repealed.
Good luck with that.
Party time in Victoria. We want to get you in on the fun a little bit this morning and give you some real race insights. And frankly, we are just underqualified to provide them. Our next guest, though, is not. Terry McAuliffe from racing.com joins us. Terry, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How are you going?
We're good, thanks, Terry. Good to have someone who can bring a bit of science to this. Although, can I ask you, is it true? Do you reckon this is the worst race of the year to bet on? Is that true, what they say?
Well, I mean, if you want to ask me for a tip today, I think it'll be easier for me to find you a winner at Morphettville than trying to pick the winner of a 23-horse Melbourne Cup field. So.
That's right.
Is it just the weights and that make it difficult, Terry, or is it just the number of international horses?
That's what I was going to say. It's just so hard to, work out what to do with these horses that we haven't seen before. I mean, the favourite Vauban, he's never raced in Australia. He's quite interesting. He's had only 14 race starts, and 8 of them have actually been over the hurdle. So
Wow.
Exactly. He's only ever had 6 runs on the flat in his life. He's won his last 2, and he's won them brilliantly. 2 starts ago at Ascot, Royal Ascot, he was unbelievable, and he's won his only start since. But, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that. The favourite for the Melbourne Cup, most of his racing's been done over the jumps.
It's amazing. Should get him out here for Oakbank.
When we had jumps.
Yeah, well, that's
well,
right.
that's a good point.
They're almost extinct now in Australia, aren't they?
Yeah, just Victoria. They're the lone state now. So Tasmania went by the wayside before we did, and we dropped off just in the last 12 months or so. So, yeah, Victoria stand alone, the only jump state in the country.
Speaking of the international contingent, I just couldn't believe, Terry, looking at the form guide in the paper this morning. Yeah, it's hard to find the Australian hopefuls. Is there a chance? I mean, who's our best chance as an Australian bred horse that might win the Melbourne Cup today?
Well, most of the stayers we see racing in Australia these days are horses that have been purchased overseas anyway. So that's why you're looking at so many internationally bred horses. I mean, the thing is, guys, we really breed for speed in this country, and I say that because our juvenile races, like our 2-year-old races and our sprint races, are just worth so much money. So invariably, our breeders are trying to win those races, the races like the Golden Slipper, the Magic Millions race up on the Gold Coast, the Blue Diamond in Melbourne. That's just 3 races to name as 2-year-olds are concerned. And then even on the weekend, we just had the running of the Coolmore Stakes up the straight of Flemington, which was another sprint race. It was won by Osmosis. All of a sudden, that horse is a colt. Probably going into the race, he might have been worth, I don't know, let's say $1 million. He won that race on the weekend. He's now worth $20 million because he's a colt. He'll go to stud where, they serve 100 to 150 mares every year. He'll probably start off serving at $30,000 or $40,000 a pop. So do the sums.
Goodness.
That's why we're breeding for speed. And basically, it's the international bred horses but they tend to focus more on their distance events overseas, and that's why so many of these horses are imported gallopers.
So who do you like in the big race today, Terry?
Yeah, well, I'm going for one of the runners trained by Chris Waller. He's got 4 in the race. Of course, Chris, the trainer of Winks and in more recent times Nature's Troop, which went to Royal Ascot and won. But the horse I'm going to suggest is number 6, Solcombe. Now, he is an imported galloper. He's by the mighty Frankel, so he's been in Australia now with Chris for a bit over 12 months. And I actually tipped him in the Caulfield Cup on the show with Rowie and Timmy, but he's got a terrible habit of missing the start. So I'm going to home my fate very early, because if he bombs the start like he did in the Caulfield Cup, well, he probably can't win. But if he can get away cleanly, he's got a good barrier, he's got a low draw, so he can get a nice run, and he's got an outstanding jockey in the Brazilian Joe Moreira. But, as I said, I'll probably know my destiny very, very early, boys, probably within about the first 2 or 3 strides.
Have you got a trifecta in mind with number 6 in it too, Terry?
Look, I'd certainly want to be putting in the favourite, number 5, Vauban. I think the horse that won the Caulfield Cup needs to be included, number 3, Without a Fight, yet another imported galloper. He was really good winning the Caulfield Cup. And one that's sparked a bit of interest is number 15, Last Otchka. It was really good money for this at what they call the Call of the Card in Melbourne, one of the Melbourne Cup Day functions. And there was a lot of money for this horse, which is, once again, it's never raced in Australia. So, I mean, how you try and line the form up, it's so hard. And I know Kieran Maher and David Eustace have always must be respected. They've only got 5 runners in the Cup this year. But one of theirs right down near the bottom, number 21, Future History, with the British girl, Holly Doyle, riding, I think can run a race with no weight on its back. So there's a few extra numbers for you boys. But honestly, as I said, if I'm going to give you a tip, I'd probably rather tip something at Morphettville.
Is it a new thing that there's so many French horses in the race, Terry, or have I just not been paying attention?
No, but they certainly have come to the fore probably in the last 3 or 4 years. As I said, they're buying so many horses now from overseas, and they do know that the form out of these French races is so good. So we do see a lot of them turning up. It's probably been the last year, maybe 5 years, that we've seen more of them starting to come out here and be trained under Australian conditions.
Yeah, because 1/3 of the horses racing today in the Melbourne Cup are French.
Incredible.
Amazing. They're the ones, the chain smoking and wearing berets, I guess. Good on you, Terry. 6, 5 and 3. Number 6, get amongst it. Terry McAuliffe there from racing.com. Thanks for joining us, mate, and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great insights. It's 19 minutes after 8. Remember, you can participate in the program by watching along on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream and leaving your comments that way. But if you want to be in the Melbourne Cup sweep, you're going to have to call 8223 8855. Get calling now. This is our last call for the sweep this morning. 8 horses remain. 8 more chances to win that $100 Unique Homestyles food voucher. Well, one of 3, in fact. We've got 3 to give away. You only need to finish in the top 3. Let's check traffic, then we'll come back and draw them out of the COVID-safe Copper Bowl. Keezer, are you tired of back pain? Try Keezer. KIESER.com.au.
Good morning. Roads flowing well today. The freeway looking the goods from Aldgate all the way through to Glen Awesome, which is excellent. Northern Connector looking the goods. We are getting busy at the Port River Expressway at Port Adelaide. Slow Park Terrace at North Adelaide. Clovelly Park. Water main works continuing south road at Dawes Road. Road plates in use there. Speeds reduced and it is quite bumpy with cameras Barramundi Drive, Hullett Cove and Dalkeith Road at Seaford Rise. Breathe pure, cool air with Dakin's Alira X air conditioner with built-in streamer technology and up to 5.5 stars energy efficiency to keep your energy bills down. Dakin, perfecting the air. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Buffhead, Sook upstart, that frumpy red-headed opener for England, Johnny Bairstow.
Yeah, I remember him.
He got a Golden Globe, a first bull duck. Have a listen.
Mitchell Stark with ball in hand and it's been given. Strangled down leg side, Johnny Bairstow.
Good on him.
Rowie and Timmy G.
I tell you what,
3 for 21 off 10. That's great, Bob.
You know what? Chickpeas must work.
Oh,
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Thinking about a solar battery? Don't wait. Connect with NRG Solar and bring home a solar battery with a rock-solid 10-year warranty. Use the energy you generate during the day to store some for later, reducing reliance on energy providers and putting money back in your pocket. Experience blackout protection that'll save you thousands, all at your fingertips through a user-friendly app. Embrace 24/7 solar today. Visit nrgsolar.com.au. That's nrgsolar.com.au.
You can do just about anything online. Shop, meet new friends, watch reruns of your favourite TV shows or movies. But there's one thing you should never do online, and that's your will. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
At Coles, there's great value hands down across fruit and veg this week, like sweet 100% Aussie raspberries, just $5 for a 125-gram punnet. Get great value hands down at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Gentlemen, wish you could sleep at night without getting up constantly to pee? Caruso's Prostate Ease Max relieves the frequency of nighttime urination in men with medically diagnosed benign prostatic hypertrophy or enlarged prostate. So if you'd like to pee less and sleep more, try Caruso's Prostate Ease Max. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If you've not had your symptoms diagnosed or if your symptoms persist or worsen, consult a medical practitioner.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
22 after 8, your last chance to get in the 5AA breakfast suite and win one of 3 unique homestyle foods vouchers. The first caller through, Julie in Durnan Court. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, how are you?
We're good, thanks, Julie. You have number 4, which is breakup. Number 4.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, Brenton in Fullerton, good morning.
Good morning.
Brenton, you have number 1, Gold Trip, which is one of the favourites. Good luck, mate.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
No worries.
There, Brenton, late in the piece. Let's go to Warradale. Catherine, what have we got for Catherine?
I hope you like your wine, Catherine, even though it's spelt wrong. Number 14, Shiraz. Sheraz. Good luck.
Thank you. Alison, good morning.
Good morning.
Alison, you have I can't even pronounce this. It's number 12, Dacian Sweet Jr., number 12.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck.
Don't worry about that, Alison. If it wins, you work it out to say it. Val, good morning.
Good morning.
Val, you have number 7, which is absurd. The horse is called Absurd. It's not
Okay.
absurd that you have number 7, but that's the horse.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Let's go to West Lakes. What horse have we got for Karen?
Karen, I think this one has competed previously, and it did pretty well from memory. Number 9, Vow and Declare.
Vow and Declare.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that's
Thank
a decent
you.
horse, I think.
Yeah, Karen, look at us.
Been
go.
around the block a few times.
Look at the horse racing knowledge in this room.
That's
Kind of over. It's a bit intimidating.
Who
actually,
needs Bruce
isn't it?
McAvaney when you've got us?
Jane in Glenelg East, our penultimate entrant in the Melbourne Cup sweep.
Jane.
Good morning.
Jane, you have horse number 22, Interpretation, written by Ted Nugent. No, T.O. Nugent is his name. There you go.
I love T.O.
Surprising seeing Ted Nugent riding horse. Probably a bit too tall.
And last but not least, Craig in North Haven.
Morning, guys.
13, Okita Sushi.
Oh, thank you.
Sounds Japanese,
I was
doesn't
going
it?
to say, it sounds like you just ordered something.
Yeah, that's right. Just waiting for the bowl to come past. Number 13, there you go. Good luck to everybody. We have a full field now.
Full field. Three listeners will win $100 each from Unique Homestyle Foods this afternoon. Good luck, and we'll announce the winners tomorrow morning. But of course, you'll know this afternoon. Time to talk movie, because the movie was brought in yesterday. Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks films was the category. You've got mail one. We'll see what Lucy thinks. Movies are better at Wallace Cinemas. SA's home of big screen magic and entertainment. Visit wallace.com.au. Morning to you, Luce.
Good morning. Like a few of the male texters in yesterday said, it's a rom-com, therefore probably not too many votes came in yesterday, but that's fine. I haven't watched a rom-com in a while.
Lost half
You're
the
a
population.
rom-com fan generally, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to watch them when I need to be doing other things as well, because I
Okay.
like them, but I got to be productive at the same time.
Why? It's a movie, Lucy.
Well,
You don't need to be productive.
like yesterday, I was productive in that I watched the first 15 minutes, then had a nap while it was still playing. So
Did you have a nap because of the quality of the film, or were you just tired?
I was tired, then I went back and rewatched it. No fear. I watched
All
the
right.
whole thing again.
Did it warm the cockles of your heart?
Well, David, I found it was a bit of a nothing movie.
Bit of a nothing. It's
a good
I'm not
description.
sure that's what they were going for.
But I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Okay.
I didn't mind a bit of the whole light-hearted viewing. It was a rom-com about opposites attracting and has the classic rom-com situation where you instantly know that they will end up together at the end of the 2 hours. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan played pretty lovable characters, and the idea of meeting on some ancient online technology I really loved. The old laptops, of course, being set in 1998. I was only 4 years old, so seeing the technology of that day and age was pretty good. The bit I really loved was how much Meg's character Kathleen loved books, and how her whole life was centred around the bookshop that she owned, and that was her mother's bookshop, and she just loved books. So I related to that a bit. I give it 3 stars. An enjoyable nothing rom-com.
I think nothing's a good term. Don't you think the problem with rom-coms is you always know, like, has there ever been a rom-com that ends in utter tragedy, where they don't end up together?
No, because com is comedy, so if it's a tragedy, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be a rom-trage.
Yeah, rom-trage. There's a whole new genre.
I can't name one off the top of my head. This is a bit where Meg Ryan meets Tom Hanks, but she doesn't know that he is the online admirer.
Well, I think you have a gift for it. It was a perfect blend of poetry and meanness.
Meanness. Let me tell you something about meanness.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm just trying to pay you a compliment.
Oh,
What
why
is
are you
this?
touching that?
Is
What
this
are
a
you
red
doing?
rose? No, you know, it's a crimson rose. Something you read about in a book, no
It's
doubt.
funny to you, isn't it? Everything is a joke to you.
So they meet online and they don't share any personal details. They just met on a chat room. And so when they decide to meet, she goes to a cafe and says, I'll be there sitting with a book with a rose on it, so you know who I am.
For a simpler time when you met in chat rooms and not on Tinder.
But what if you met
It's a
someone in a
beautiful time.
bookshop? Isn't that just the dream? You meet someone in Dimmicks or at Dylan's on the parade. That would be
I
my
don't know.
ultimate dream. Just go down to Dylan's and...
Or a
have
big
so-
W.
what,
or
have
a
someone
fishing
hit
book
on
or
you?
something.
in my favourite store in the world, I'd
We're
probably
just trying to pick out a book and
Yeah,
someone's like, you come here often?
But there's people
I'd yell
who've
at
been in
them,
all
"Get
sorts
out."
of weird places, and these days, if you actually did say like hello to someone on a tram or something, like
you
They'd
double
go, what?
You
You
double
know,
take. A bit,
leave me
yeah.
alone.
And as a small, not very feisty female, I definitely double take a fair bit sometimes. Not
Yeah.
saying people come up to me often, but when they do, I'm aware
The nature
of
of
it.
communication has been
Yeah.
redefined so dramatically that you're right. I think that's 100% right.
Or even in a bar.
To speak to a complete stranger is seen as odd and a bit forward.
Yeah, what's your problem?
But to that point, yes, if someone did come up to me in Dillon's, which I love, I would first be like, this is my safe space, get out of the bookshop.
Yeah,
No.
right.
But then, I'd see what they're reading. Maybe I'd base my judgment on that.
Okay, and you say maybe text me.
Oh, you didn't give me a number. Correct.
I wouldn't mind if someone came up to me at Bunnings while I was buying a big bag of dynamic lifter. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Nice romantic setting.
Smells like romance.
That's right.
Get on your loose.
The internet's killed everything, hasn't it? Just, life was more fun in the analog era.
I'm struggling to come up with a retort.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's 8:30. We've
All right.
got to go to the news.
I was just doing my job. I didn't think I'd get injured.
The doctor said it was a routine procedure. Right.
The car came out of nowhere and it smashed right into us.
At DBH Lawyers, we're here to listen to your story. Our team of local South Australian lawyers will help you navigate the law and find the best way forward. We're with you. We're for you. We're DBH Lawyers. dbh.com.au.
Mawson Lakes Mazda's 2023 plate clearance sale is on now. Discover amazing deals across the entire range, including free on-road costs on all cars. That's right, free on-road costs across the entire Mazda range. Hurry in to find your perfect model and colour. The sooner you get to the showroom, the better your chance of scoring your dream car. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
Public school teachers will walk off the job on Thursday over a pay dispute. Their union says the latest offer shows contempt towards teachers, while the state government says the $1.4 billion package is the largest pay rise ever offered. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told David and Will the union's response is disappointing.
If they wanted to reject our offer, clearly that's an option available to them. But what they should at least do is put a counter-offer to us, or alternatively say, we acknowledge the government's improved the offer and now let's continue to negotiate. Instead it was this again, a rush to strike, which I think is unfortunate, not for the government, but for parents out there who are now left wondering about what happens on Thursday, let alone the Year 12 students who are going to be sitting their exams on Thursday.
Flowers are being laid at the site of a deadly crash in Sydney's southwest. Two boys aged 13 and 14 were killed when the sedan they were in ploughed into a power pole and tree at Ashcroft, splitting in half. Police are searching for two men who were in the front and fled the scene. This woman says it's tragic.
I'm a single mother. I have a similar age children at home, and it's just so sad.
While the driver involved in a deadly crash which killed 5 people in Daylesford, Victoria, is expected to be formally interviewed by police today. The victims from Sunday night's crash have now been identified. Analysts are tipping the Reserve Bank to raise interest rates again today. That'll mean more pain for those already struggling to meet mortgage repayments. Major Brendan Nottle from the Salvos says they continue to see new faces at their centres seeking help.
Look, I've been doing this work for a long time and I think I'm pretty resilient, but when you see like a mum with little kids come in, ashamed to be there, that's the stuff that hits me pretty hard and it hits our team pretty hard as well, but we're seeing more and more of it.
While an alarming number of Australians have no savings to their name, new research by Compare the Market shows almost a third of people are living week by week. The nation's peak psychology body is issuing a warning about the dangers of gambling this Melbourne Cup Day. The Australian Psychological Society is pushing for better reforms and protection of young people from gambling harm. Dr Zena Burgess says those aged between 18 and 24 are most at risk of addiction.
We are speaking to the government this week about gambling issues and looking at the recommendations that they're putting out about gambling. So we will be talking at length to them about the risks for young people and teenagers.
While local pubs and clubs are gearing up for one of their busiest days of the year, more than 3,000 people will also be trackside at Morfordville this Cup Day. The venue's Corey Wade says they have a full program on offer.
The day kicks off with gates opening from 10:30am. Obviously, people can get on the tram from either Glenelg or the city and make their way and get off on the front doorstep. We have 10 races live on track, as well as the main race coming live from Melbourne.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
And with more on the Cup, Tom Wren.
Yeah, thank you, Kendall. Let's start there. Vauban remains the outright favourite to take out this afternoon's Melbourne Cup, without a fight, and last year's winner Gold Trip also in the mix with the bookies. Meantime, Alan Kerr is free to run after passing a vet test, meaning Damien Oliver will have a ride for the race. To cricket, Sri Lanka has been left fuming after all-rounder Angelo Matthews became the first ever player to be given timed out. Matthews telling reporters post-match his helmet strap broke while he was out in the middle, and Bangladesh and the umpires lacked common sense.
The umpires also have said to our coaches that they didn't see my helmet breaking. I mean, I was just asking for my helmet there. So it was just pure common sense. I'm not talking about mankading or obstructing the field here. This is just pure common sense.
Bangladesh winning the match by 3 wickets. Well, Tottenham is set to suffer its first loss under Ange Postecoglou in the English Premier League following a horror morning at home. Spurs went 1-0 up in just the 6th minute but played the majority of the second half with only 9 men after 2 players were sent off. Another 2 were forced off injured, Chelsea capitalising to break the deadlock in the 75th minute.
Jackson's waiting in the middle, should be given a tap in here, and that's what's happened, and there is no flag, and Chelsea have finally found a way to make numbers count.
Audio there thanks to Optus, and in literally the last 30 seconds, Chelsea scored again. It is now 3-1 in the 96th minute. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'Connell.com.
G'day there at Burnside. 2-car collision on Green Hill Road near Wyatt Road. Busy at the moment, the Port River Expressway at Port Adelaide. Slow. Park Terrace at North Adelaide. Clovelly Park, Watermain works continuing on South Road at Dawes Road. Road plates in use there. Speeds reduced, and it's quite bumpy as you're heading through there on the way to the city. And got a camera at Dalkeith Road at Seaford Rise. Setting up your four-wheel drive? Petters four-wheel drive products offer a total brakes and suspension solution, complete with nationwide warranty. Petters, for four-wheel drive under car experts. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When you've earned your dream bathroom, speak to Bathrooms by Design, Clovelly Park and Lonsdale.
Sunny and 27 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 26, sunny again on Thursday, 30 and up to 34 on Friday. At the moment, 17. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Rising cost of living pressures are hitting everyone, but some people more than others. If you're struggling with your home loan or credit card payments, there may be ways your bank can help, like lowering your home loan or credit card payments, restructuring the length of your loan to reduce them, moving you to interest-only payments for a while, or deferring them for a period. Don't tough it out on your own. Please, talk to your bank.
Now, it's been a long time coming, but finally summer is on the way, and if you have a pool, now's definitely the time to wake it from its winter slumber and keep it looking the biz with a Walco pool blanket.
A Walco pool blanket will not only help keep your pool clean and warm, but will also help stop evaporation. And let's face it, we do live in the dry state, so a Walco pool blanket is a must if you want to save money on water.
Got one myself, they're fantastic. And look, it's easy to put your pool to bed each night with a Walco pool blanket, especially if you have the Walco pool blanket roller. And the bit we really love here at 5AA is that Walco is the only pool blanket manufacturer right here in Adelaide. Yep, nothing is imported. So get your pool a Walco blanket for summer now. Go to their website, walco.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
22 to 9, Fuel Watch, thanks to the RAA. You can download their app today for free and find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Unleaded is, we were talking about Tottenham in the break and I've got soccer on the brain. Unleaded is slowly on the way down from the lofty heights of $2.10 But most cheaper prices remain north and west of the city. You can get it for under $2 in some of those, like the United Henley Beach Road, Henley Beach, $1.99.9. The Ampol O'Connell Street, North Adelaide, $1.99.5. And how about this? The United Main North Road, Paraka, $1.83.9. The cheapest diesel is also under $2, which is a nice change. The Liberty Petters Crescent Regency Park, $1.98.5. I wonder if we have any listeners who have their name habitually mispronounced. Do people get it wrong? Is it spelt weirdly? Is it a name that people aren't familiar with? Are you always having to correct them?
Do you ever get Goodings?
I never get Goodings. You do. You get variations on. Yours is
subtle.
more.
It's like all the promos we've had the whole time I've worked here. It's mispronounced in the promo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
So how are you meant to say it?
Penberthy.
Penberthy. And people say Penberthy.
Pemberthy.
Pemberthy.
But, whoopie do.
But you haven't gone to any extraordinary length to correct them. Barbara Streisand has revealed in an interview about her upcoming memoir, My Name is Barbara, she was sick of the Apple assistant Siri pronouncing her name wrong. I don't know how she knew this or how often she was using Siri to Google herself or so forth, but she said it emphasised a Z sound where it's an S sound. So the Siri assistant was saying Barbara Streisand. She says it's Barbara Streisand.
Sand, as in
sand. Sand's
like
at the
sand
hourglass.
through the hourglass.
Yeah, exactly right.
We've been working together too long. We both thought of that at the same time.
No, we're just big Days of Our Lives fans. Was it Days of Our Lives or was it the other one?
Yeah, Days of Our Lives.
If you, let us know if you're someone who needs a pronunciation guide for your name. You're sick of it getting mispronounced. We'd love to hear from our listeners that have names that cause no end of grief. I imagine the reverse of it is when you go and order a coffee somewhere and they've got to write your name on the cup and you probably get all sorts of weird spelling. But the people saying it wrong would probably drive you nuts. 8223 let us know. This is your chance to have a Barbara Streisand moment and correct the record.
Historically, with immigration, a lot of people... I mean, Coots is a good example. You end up with a long Greek name and everyone just shortens it. Coots, instead of Coots and Toners. I think, though, we become culturally adept as a result of living in a multicultural society. Like the name Nguyen, the Vietnamese name Nguyen, Nguyen. That's probably one of the most common names in Adelaide now.
It's one of the common names on planet Earth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eugene has called in. Morning, Eugene.
G'day, guys. Like Eugene's the Australianised version of my name, but it's Eugenio in Italian. Eugenio, but I get Eugenio and Eugene and trying to describe how to spell it to people. The amount of times it's spelled with a U and a Gine, and I've had some interesting party invitations over the years.
It's a good name, mate. Can I ask you, what's your surname? Is it an Italian name as well?
Yes, it's I've got the I don't know if I want to do my full name.
You don't know.
My parents didn't like me as a kid, but my middle name is Stelladio, which is trying to explained to Anglo-Saxons can be quite. So I tend not to try and promote it too much, but it's very, very European.
Eugene, you can get a $5AA breakfast mug for calling in. We appreciate that. Jared's texted us on the Duttons text line. Says, my name's spelled wrong all the time. It's Jared, Jarrad. My mum thought it'd be easy. 2 A's, 2 R's. I get Jared, and I get it from the wife often. She says, oi, you. Thank you, Jared. We appreciate it. Let us know if you need a Barbara Streisand moment to correct the pronunciation of your name. 8223
Is it cheese time?
Should we cheese it up, you
Let's
reckon?
do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's cheese it up. We've got Cheese Fest tickets to give away, and we only know one way. They said, can you give these tickets away? We said we can only do What Cheese Am I? And I think after some back and forth, they agreed.
They did.
It's the most snackable weekend in SA, November 18 and 19 in Rundle Park. Get your tickets from cheesefest.com.au. Call in right now on 8223 0055. First caller will need to correctly identify the cheese.
We should have kept Eugenio on the line, maybe giving him a bit of Taleggio or Gorgonzola.
Yeah, could have done that. Now, you've said you've got 5 clues today.
5 clues. No excuse for not getting it.
Oh, God, the pressure's on.
It's a certain type from a large family of cheeses.
Okay.
Which is, I suppose, technically that is another clue. Well,
Six
not
clues.
much of a clue.
6 clues. You get tickets for you and 3 friends. Just remember that too. This is actually 4 tickets that are on offer. Sam is the first caller through. Morning, Sam.
Good morning.
How you going there, Sam?
Yes, good, thank you.
Do you like your cheese?
Love cheese. Just thanks to Cheese Fest in Italy.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
wow.
goodness. Yeah.
What did you get stuck into there?
Oh, it was all raw cheese.
Oh, really?
So,
Yum.
Yeah.
Imagine if you called in for Cheese Fest tickets and you hated cheese. That would have been cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we don't get too many non-cheese enthusiasts entering this one. Well, Sam, it sounds like you know your stuff. I wish you good luck. Listen to all the clues before you answer, okay? Here we go. I am English and I smell bad. I am not Piers Morgan. I am a blue cheese from England. I am traditionally served with a flaky sweet pastry known as Eccles cake. I am best enjoyed with a glass of port. Or you'd have a muscat or a Tokay as well.
What are you thinking, Sam?
Or, you know, I want to say Gorgonzola, but I know that that's Italian, so sorry.
Your mind's stuck in Italy still, Sam. Bad luck.
It is.
Sorry,
Commiseration.
We're going to need more callers.
Well,
8223 0055.
In terms of the style of the cheese, Sam was bang on. It's a blue cheese.
Yes,
it's a
it
blue
is.
cheese from England. So we need...
So we'll take another call. We might do it in just a moment. Let people ruminate on that. It's a cheese that featured in a famous Monty Python sketch as well, I believe.
Yeah, it did.
It did, okay.
It's very sharp tasting cheese.
There's my little clue. Actually, let's go to Kerry in Paradise is called in. Morning, Kerry.
Good morning, lovely guys. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Kerry. Would you like the clues again?
I reckon I'll have a wild stab at it, but I reckon it might be Stilton.
Correctamundo!
The Stilton's awfully good. Congratulations to you, Kerry. You and 3 friends off to Cheese Fest. Get your tickets now at cheesefest.com.au. Let's head to Melbourne as we build up to the Melbourne Cup this afternoon. All of our listeners are in the running there. We've got the FIVEAA breakfast sweep that's been conducted. Now all we need to do is wait on the race. Eddie Summerfield is at Flemington this morning for 3AW. Eddie, good morning. Must be a tough gig today.
Good morning. Terrible day today. Beat the traffic by getting here early, and the media pass got me through the gates before everyone as well. So absolutely brilliant. But I tell you what, the buzzer goes when the gates open at 8:30, and it's the same anywhere you go in the world. The Adelaide Oval, the MCG, or Flemington. People just lose their marbles and run as fast as they can to secure their spot. It's one of the funniest things that humans do, I think. And I caught up with a couple of people who have secured their spot on the finishing post, on the lawns. There's no umbrellas near them, and there was no one within 100 metres of them either. So very funny scenes here at Flemington, but all pumped for a big day.
Weather-wise, how's it looking, Eddie?
Oh, stunning Melbourne day at the moment. Blue skies. I'm just having a look at the city at the moment in the background over the strait, and there's a few clouds coming in, and the worry is that there is a thunderstorm forecast to hit Melbourne at around 3 o'clock local time, which is right when the race jumps. There was some heavy rain overnight, but that had cleared up by the time the sun got up this morning. So it's a nice day at the moment. It's warm as well. Forecast to get to a top today of around 28 degrees. So I don't know how some of these international horses go. Vauban, I heard his trainer earlier in the week saying 22, 23 degrees is hot, let alone a 28-degree day today. So it'll be interesting how some of these foreign horses who haven't had a run in Australia yet fare in these conditions. But if the storms hit, maybe nothing to worry about.
So, Eddie, there's been a bit of discussion around the fact that the Victorian government and the police have decided to repeal the public drunkenness offence, but that it's taking effect from today. Is that of all the days to pick?
Yeah, a bit of a bizarre one by the government to pick today, which is if it's not known for the horse race, it's known for people getting absolutely blotto, going home missing a left shoe, a tie, and not in their own pants. So it's a weird day to do it. But I was speaking to a few people yesterday about it. So the offence they've decriminalised, that usually only sees around 5 people arrested on Cup Day. So not big numbers that will be still out and about this afternoon instead of being in custody. But I still think police might be recommending catch the next cab home, sunshine.
Hey, Eddie, what does it feel like in Melbourne, Melbourne Cup Day compared with AFL Grand Final Day? Are they similar, or is there a sort of a different vibe?
I think an AFL Grand Final is marginally bigger, particularly if there's two Victorian clubs or a big Victorian club in it. The lead up to the Grand Final this year and last year, both particularly huge. Geelong, of course, and then Collingwood this year, the millions of people that came out of the woodwork. A disappointing thing in the lead up to this year's Melbourne Cup was the parade. So we see the annual AFL Grand Final parade, which, whatever route they do, they haven't quite got that right since scrapping it from the city. But that attracts hundreds of thousands of people into town, and there's just a vibe around the place. Whereas they got rid of the parade this year because they claim that there's plenty of roadworks and infrastructure builds going on in the CBD at the moment, which is the case. But there was an argument and maybe a case that it's the animal activists that they didn't want to fight and furor with them, so they thought, let's just not have a parade. And they had a pretty melancholy, boring kind of thing down at the Yarra yesterday, which, wasn't all that great from all reports I heard. So, this year I'd say the lead up to a grand final bigger than the Cup, but it's a great day nonetheless. It's the race that stops the nation. What is there, $8 million in prize money up for grabs? I think it's the second or third richest race on turf, so, and the tradition of it as well.
I see on the front page of today's Tiser, Eddie, that the late Princess Diana's nieces have been flown out. I presume that the Victoria Racing Club picked up the tab because they're out here as ambassadors flitting about with horses, Lady Eliza and Lady Amelia Spencer. Is that sort of part of the whole promotion of the race, that they always try to get some celebs to, dot them strategically in the bird cage so everyone feels like they've walked off the pages of Hello magazine or something?
That's exactly right. So that's the British market covered for today. We also had Matt Damon out here. I think he was in the Lexus Marquee on the weekend, apparently out here on his own accord as well, so didn't receive a too big a checks. But there's the usual celebrities. Now, I think I looked through the list who'll be in the bird cage today. The Matildas will be there. What a 12 months they've had, so no doubt they'll be looking forward to a big day here. But there's not any big, huge overseas A-listers other than who you mentioned. Look, later today we've got Delta Goodrum. She'll be performing. It's 20 years since she released Innocent Eyes, so that's something to look forward to. John Stevens as well, in Excess fame, he'll be performing. Natalie Imbruglia, she'll be singing the national anthem. But as far as big celebrity go, I think this year's Cup may be down on other years.
Okay. Eddie, great report, mate.
Thanks, Eddie.
Have an excellent day. Good to chat with you. Eddie Summerfield at Flemington for FIVEAA. I know that he mentioned Vauban, the French horse, might struggle in the conditions. It's actually trained by an Irishman by the name of Willie Mullins, who made a very funny joke at the call of the card the other night, saying that he's concerned about the temperature for the horse because he knows, at very least from his perspective, the boiling point of an Irishman is 22 degrees Celsius. So he doesn't know what it is for a horse.
The French horses wouldn't mind the heat because France gets stupidly
France
hot.
can be hot.
France boiling hot.
You'd think so.
Down south near Spain.
Just I wonder which part of France it's from.
Well, that's true. If it's like from up the top, it might be a bit more ill prepared.
All right, it's time to go behind closed doors. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing, and local Adelaide. In fact, we got to do a break first. Geez, we're running late today, aren't we? You don't want to do behind closed doors now? All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go behind closed doors.
On 5AA Mornings today, the Health Minister Chris Picton in the studio taking your calls, and a state MP wants Adelaide to fully embrace Christmas and light up in the way major cities do overseas. They're two of the stories we're talking about today. Lots more, your calls as well. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Look forward to you joining me from 9.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
We understand not all small businesses are the same.
That's why Nissan Fleet offers tailored vehicle solutions for your unique business needs. With dedicated fleet managers available across Australia, we're your local fleet experts, providing quality advice, support and customer service for the entire life of your vehicle fleet. Visit your local Nissan dealer or search Nissan Fleet today and we'll find the right business solution for you.
Organising a memorial for a treasured loved one can seem like a lot. Well, it's not if you speak with Tim from Adelaide Memorials. For more than 40 years, Adelaide Memorials have kept the memory and spirit alive for thousands of South Australian families with beautifully designed headstones and plaques.
Tim will sit with you to show you all the wonderful ways to memorialise the life of your loved one. There's no set and forget or rush, just empathy and genuine attention to detail.
Now, it's quite diverse too, because Tim's got a background in architecture, and this means the headstones and plaques he designs can be customised to reflect an individual's life, whether it be to include the lyrics to their favourite song or even a headstone carved into the shape of a guitar.
And currently there's room on their team for an experienced craftsperson with a trade background, so if you're interested in joining this small and passionate team, get in touch with Tim. Adelaide Memorials for extra personal service. Visit adelaidememorials.com.au.
At Gilman, a smash on the Port River Expressway near Eastern Parade. Very solid delays inbound. Mitchell Park, two-car collision on Marion Road near Sturt Road, while at Burnside, two-car smash there too, Greenhill Road near Wide Road. Slow Park Terrace at North Adelaide, busy South Road at Edwardstown with the camera Education Road at Happy Valley. The Hyundai Tucson N-Line taken to the next level. Book a test drive with your local Hyundai dealer to experience dynamic styling and cutting-edge tech. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
5 to 9, all right. Now we're going to go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution, Warehousing and Local Level 8 Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
And when we get behind
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
And welcome back to 5AA Breakfast. And David Penberthy, welcome back to you too.
Yeah, g'day Will, how you going?
I'm really well, David.
The coverage of the pageant was excellent.
Right now we have in the studio,
apart from the monumental stuff-ups I can't believe we haven't mentioned.
Right now in the studio, a big moment for us because Liz McCaskill, well-known psychic medium and producer of The Gardening Show, is in here. Good morning, Lizzie.
Hi, Will. Hi, David.
G'day, Liz. Abracadabra.
Now, we've got Liz in because we keep losing guest footballers like Tom Duday and Orazio Fantasia, Eddie Betts, and we think there must be some sort of evil force or evil spirit that's telling them to leave. So Liz has come in to exorcise the demons.
That's right. I've got my little bag of what I'm calling sage, and I'm going to light it up for you.
So can I ask you, Liz, is it the room that has the malignant force, or is it Will and I?
Well...
And can your powers also correct my bad grammar? Because that should have been Will and me there, not Will and I.
Yeah, well, I can try.
Okay, great.
Right, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. There's no footballer in the world that would leave us now.
Well, don't hog it, David.
Oh, sorry. You're a good bloke, Will.
Thanks, David. Yeah, almost time to check traffic, and we'll be coming back after the break with more.
Hey, Liz, can you pick the lotto numbers for us?
No, I can't do that.
You know, I reckon if you really had psychic powers, then you'd be so rich you wouldn't have to work for the gardening show for $10 an hour.
Good one, David.
I don't think
that has
that's
never happened.
Exactly how that segment went.
Oh, dearie me. Dearie me.
Okay, well, on that note, Matt Pantelis takes over after 9 o'clock.
Our work here is finished. I'm going to send a private text to John Blake.
The Health Minister, Chris Picton, will be joining Matt after 9 o'clock. We'll get you tomorrow morning from 6.
When is a good time to organise a new roof, outdoor blinds, roller shutters or gutters? Well, any time with Focus Home Improvements. You see, Dave from Focus, well... he's newly separated, so Dave has plenty of time on his hands.